Welcome to week 2, day 3, which started out as many other of these days, but it ended in cluster F. And why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? I mean, everything else has been going that way. And yeah, this will get really interesting. Yeah. Oh, hello, Dave, Melissa, Tracy, and the rest of you. I know there's a bunch of other people streaming, but I hope they will find themselves over here soon. Let's talk a bit to... Hi, Sal.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. I'm interesting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I am lost for words.
I just saw a couple headlines, so.
Yeah. And I listened to it live.
Okay.
And yeah.
So the judge did not inform the jury about the little mishap?
We will come to that.
Gotcha.
We will come to that. We will. Yeah. Let's see here. First, of course, we have our... Oh, hold on. Dum. Just checking here. Let's have a poll first. How late was the court today? What are good? 30?
Yeah, 30 minimum.
45? I'm asking chat. 60. I'll just give you 3 options in the chat. And... oh, crap. Okay. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't today be a cluster F when every other day has been so far? Yeah, I'll give the folks some time to vote. Yeah, today was the same as yesterday. It was Cops and Expert Day, and it was cops reading from reports into the record, more or less. But there was some great cross-examinations. So I will focus more on the cross-examinations than on...
direct.
Yeah, than on direct, because the direct was... Yeah. Jesus.
Cross is usually more entertaining.
Yeah. And I'm still in work, so I'll have to change. I need to get out of this. Oh. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm not a coat and tie kind of person.
Clearly.
Grift yourself while I'll change into something more comfortable.
Okay. My name is, well, my real name is Matt. Dolly Talk is my channel. My persona is kind of Salvador Dali. Got some of his art back there. But I cover trials, and I have 2 Aussie cats. Basically, I cover funny moments in trials, humorous moments, and things like that. I'm close to 500 subscribers, so please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'm like 45 away. I cover like the Mark Jensen trial, just funny, odd trials that can make you laugh, basically. So I do the Mark Jensen trial once a week. That is a guy who unalived his wife, which isn't funny. The fact that he is obsessed with the size of other men is what I find kind of funny, because there's a lot of argument about it. Wow, you changed fast. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody go over and subscribe to Sal, because he, what is it, 45, 44, 44?
Yeah, 45-ish last I checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm beat. Still, I'm also waiting for EU, for Hella. If I don't, because we talked yesterday about her getting over here so she could dual stream this. But I haven't seen her in... joining. She is in our chat. She is. Yeah, she is.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Hello, Gigi. Welcome. I hope you are feeling a lot better. And ex-comer. Oh, Dave has kidnapped her. All right.
I think she'll be here in a bit.
Okay, but she can... I wanted to start with the controversy.
Yes.
Yeah, so because I know that many people in the rewatch, they want to watch only that. So why not get it over with in the beginning and everything? But before we get there, give me the likes and everything. All the YouTube things, and I will also put my Rumble stream in the chat. Rumble for you who uses that one. So you can go over there and give me thumbs up and follow me and everything. I will pin it to the top of the chat. Okay, but we have a few votes and poll. Let's see here. At 9%, 45 minutes. At 8%, 30 minutes. At 27%, 60 minutes. An hour, 15 minutes, 45%. Let's check here. Hold on.
I don't know. When Dave started today, his judge was 2 minutes late.
Yeah, but let's check, because he was an hour late. Yeah. I mean...
Well, it's not like it's anything important or anything.
Yeah. And
it's not like you got 15, 16 people or 17 people whose lives are on hold for the next year. So you can just take an hour or so. It's not like it's going to make a difference for them.
Now, I would assume that they have all the other duties and stuff like that, but...
They do, but...
Yeah, I would think that he would want to have this trial over and gone with as soon as possible.
Judges
and when he says 9:30 start time...
Yes.
That's the start time, not 10:30.
You focus in... Judges have a lot of stuff they have to do, other motions, pre-trial stuff for other cases. You set a time, 9:30. That's when you start. You can be late, maybe every so often, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, even half an hour occasionally.
Yeah, but every day so far.
That's
between
unacceptable.
30 minutes and 90 minutes late.
It's disrespectful to the jury.
Yeah. And to the entire process. I mean,
Well,
he demands very much of the lawyers and the
Yeah.
prosecution. I would look into a mirror
why
if I
would
were him.
why would a juror ever want to go through this if this is their first time? It's
Yeah.
bad enough that it's a year.
Yeah.
Why would they? This is why judges are so nice to the jurors. Tell
Yeah.
them jokes, laugh with them, thank
Mm.
them profusely.
Mm.
Like the last time my dad served on jury duty, the judge said, "I thank you guys so much for showing up because most people don't show up, and it's so hard to find people that actually do."
Yeah.
So the
And-
next time my dad didn't show up.
Yeah. And yeah, it's scheduled for 6 months, but
Yeah,
it will
no.
take longer. I mean, it will take longer than that, unless crap
There's a
happens.
mistrial,
Yeah,
which will probably happen.
yeah, but he has put jurors threatening them either the 5 first days you watch the trial or you spend 20 days in jail. And
Yeah.
now here he is wasting jurors' time. I mean, that's so disrespectful, in my opinion.
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
These are people. It's a year trial or 6 months minimum, but
Yeah.
you maybe you can't help that, but the very priority should be respecting the jurors' time.
Yeah.
Everybody's time, but the jurors especially.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there.
No, they are forced to be there, and I listened to them yesterday because they were asking at the end of the trial, can we please have lunch? But no, that was not in the budget. So they are paid $25 a day and not provided lunch.
Even the Rittenhouse jury got lunch.
Yeah. Because that was, I mean, yeah, I have a lot of words.
This is so disrespectful.
They were an hour late today.
Only an hour late.
Only. They were 90 minutes late yesterday.
Yeah. He's making progress.
Yeah. I mean,
15 minutes I can accept.
Yeah. Because when he says 9:30 start time,
the jurors have
that means he has scheduled everything pre that time. It's scheduled. But yeah. Okay, but people are gathering, so yeah, the jury controversy. Why the flaming F is my internet acting up all of a sudden? Changing from router to mobile. I hope that will work. I will glitch for a few seconds here while I change.
Well,
all right, I should be back.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Chat, can you hear me and see me over Rumble too? Okay, I glitched out again because as I see here on my pop-out chat window, chat disconnected, connected again.
There we go.
Yeah, hopefully I'm back for good. Yeah, okay. Now internet is up to speed. We have this rain and snow and freezing. Every bad weather at the moment here. So
It was 45 degrees Fahrenheit here, almost freezing.
yeah, it's between below 0 and above 0 Celsius here. Okay, now they can see me and hear me. Okay, then let's go. It's the controversy. I will push back a few seconds here. And yeah. Oh, sound. Yeah. And he will joining. Yeah, seen and heard over at Rumble as well. That's good.
You ready? Okay. All right, councilors, pursuant to our other conversation, I'm going to call in Juror 409 at this point in time, okay? All right, summon Juror 409, please, for me.
It started earlier? Hello. What the frick? Hold on while I check.
Was you run?
No, they cut out there. And then sorry. I only listened to this earlier today. So
well,
okay, here we go.
All right, councilors, pursuant to our other conversation, I'm going to call in Juror 409 at this point in time, okay? All right, summon Juror 409, please, for me. Juror 409, could you have come on to the first row? Please be seated. And let's see if that microphone will work that's right in front of, right in the seat in the middle. Right
How nervous is that juror right now?
I want you to just be able to sit down. Not that one.
No, she is the one who has reported this to the judge.
No, I know.
Okay, all right.
But just everybody looking at her.
Fine, Tim.
A white turtleneck, huh?
All right, is Deb? Okay, madam, come on up to the witness stand then.
Oh, God, now she has to go on the witness stand?
This is so everybody can hear you. What?
We gotta turn it. Yeah, we gotta turn the camera. There's that one up there.
Okay.
See if it's on, Tim.
It's on.
All right, Juror 409, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I need to ask you just a couple of questions. Within the last, I would say, 30 minutes, you shared a video on your phone with Sergeant Ingram, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and that particular video was of a person that doing this what is his name, William McCray?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how did you come to look at this particular video?
When we were dismissed this last time, I saw myself on the camera above us here. And so I asked Sergeant Ingram, where else could we be seen on this camera, from this screen? And I asked if we could be seen in the viewing room. And then I remembered back in October of this year, seeing something scroll through on social media. This was before we were picked as jurors.
Okay.
And I remembered And because I personally, I don't know him personally, but because I know of the history of this individual, Mr. McCray, I was concerned that information had been put out that might interfere with the trial. And so I brought it to his attention, Sergeant Ingram. And I said, I remember seeing that. So with the camera view, I wanted to know if the jurors could be seen in the viewing room. At that time, he asked me to get a screenshot of what I saw back in October. And so I scrolled through.
This was a clear mistake from the court official, the bailiff. What he should have said is, we need to take you to the judge. And yeah, but because listen, yeah.
His page and found the screenshot, but in the process of finding the screenshot, I saw the video. Now, the way social media works now, you can see a video, but if you don't touch it, you won't hear it. And so I continued to scroll, but I mentioned to him that there's a video and it looks like he was live in the courtroom.
Was this late, like earlier, like in October, or was it when did this video or live incident filmed by Mr. McCray occur?
It looks like it occurred when he was here this week. I saw him on yesterday, and I brought it to Sergeant Ingram's attention.
Okay, so your concern was that you might have seen yourself on a live feed.
Yes.
Okay, and you're attributing that to Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Or concerned that any of us could have been on a live feed.
Did you show this video to any?
This also means to me that the judge have not told the jury
Yes.
that they have already been filmed.
This is so disgusting.
Yeah.
This is a RICO trial involving gang members who will protect other members potentially by silencing potential jurors, threatening, blackmailing their family, etc.
Yeah. Because we already know that at least 2 of the jurors that were shown last week, due to
Have been
law and
doxed.
C-word court, I don't care which ones, which camera, who the camera belongs to,
Yeah.
but the front row of the jurors was shown, and they have not been told.
This isn't a normal trial where it's some pissant Grand Theft Auto case or drug case where you don't have to worry about jurors being doxxed and threatened. This is about as serious a case as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a RICO trial with 191 underlying acts under the RICO charge, which it's shootings, murders, carjacking. It's a lot of crimes they allege this group are responsible for. And
when it comes to juror safety, you have to assume the charges are true. They have to prove it out in court for them to be convicted.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the kind of charges we're dealing with for the jury.
Yeah. And,
their safety is priority.
Yeah, I mean, the juror is the people's voice in the United States.
Yeah.
They are the people at the bus stop. They are the final finders of fact in a court of law. And now when she's worried they might have been seen on a live feed, we do know that nobody has told them they have already been seen on a live feed.
That pisses me off.
Yeah.
For one, this is more and more heading towards a mistrial.
Yeah.
And you have wasted millions at this point of taxpayer dollars.
Yeah. And every day in court, every hour in court means that a victim and an accused won't get their day in court.
Of another crime, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the government is paying all these public defenders. Well, I guess they pay them a flat
Well,
rate, so
Yeah, but it's
But
still
there's resources.
it's resources and lives and everything.
Any other of your fellow jurors?
No,
Did you tell them anything about Mr. McRae or your concerns?
I mentioned it in the room, and of course they overheard me talking to Sergeant Ingram.
Oh
Who
God.
is they? Is that all of your fellow jurors, or was that,
Only 5 of them.
do you recall what jurors used?
I can't, I don't know if everyone, and I can't say for certain which ones did hear,
Does that lawyer look
just that I
amused?
had a concern.
What'd you say?
Does that lawyer look amused on the left of the defendant?
Nope, because he is a $500 an hour lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And he is not amused because he wants this over with. All
don't
for
know.
Michael Burke, all for $5 a day and no lunch. Yeah, here's the thing. This happened when she was with Sergeant Ingram. She scrolled down because she wanted to find that screenshot, and while she scrolled down, there was a video in her feed, Facebook feed or whatever feed or whatever's, I don't know, that started playing on autoplay, but with no sound. So that would be less because she saw this is from this week, so it is she already seen. But when she told Mr. Ingram about this, others might have overheard it, and what they might think of what was said, that's a bigger issue.
and
But
will they go
also,
and research?
she is not supposed to look at social media for this trial, and it still showed up in her feed. So it all depends on the judge, what he decides.
And no one has heard the video or seen any of it, anything from that individual's post.
Okay, this particular video by that you're referring to, that was the one that's on your phone?
Yes, correct.
Would this video in any way affect your ability to listen to this case, apply the law that I'll give to you and your colleagues, and to apply to the facts and the evidence as you determine them to be, and render a decision that speaks the truth as to all parties?
Not at all.
All right. So your basic concern was that you thought that he might be filming in contravention of the court's order.
Correct.
All right. And how do you know him from?
Yeah, that was Mr. McKay, and I'm not entirely sure. Who that is?
Before the trial today.
Yeah. Now this is the final thing that happened in trial today.
Oh, was it after the trial?
Yeah, it was after around the afternoon break. Was when she alerted the bailiff, and but the person, I'm not entirely sure what's going on, because it seems like she saw, when she walked out, she saw on the screen where they have the zoom that the jury could be when they walked out, they could be seen on that screen.
Yeah.
And whoever decides what is on that screen, or if somebody filmed that screen while they were walking out or in, or if somebody was filming in the courtroom, I don't know, because I'm not entirely sure, because they have had an entire discussion during a long break today about this that wasn't broadcasted. So I'm
It
not
wasn't-
entirely sure about the underlying facts here. But she does have a concern about somebody filming in court, as we heard here. Let's go back a few seconds.
Might be filming, concern was as to all parties?
Not at all.
All right. So your basic concern was that you thought that he might be filming in contravention of the court's order.
Correct.
All right. And how do you know him from, or what caused your concern to raise this to Sergeant Ingram?
I know the history that follows this gentleman.
Okay. And without getting into that, and that's what made you concerned?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, Juror 409, I'm going to ask you to step back into your headquarters. Don't discuss anything about what we have discussed out here with your fellow jurors. And I may call you back out, or I may talk with you in just a little bit, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, so what will happen now is he sends her out to the jury room, and now they will start to question the other jurors. If they overheard Juror 409 say something to the bailiff about media, and if nobody heard it, then that can be laid to rest. But he still have that concern about somebody filming in the courtroom. And that is something that is a whole other matter. And I'm not entirely sure who this McKay is. We had a McKay witness of sorts. I seriously don't know who this McKay, or if she's mispronouncing it or anything. Megan says, here's the thing. If there's a mistrial over this jury thing, again, YSL goes back to the cell and sits until another jury is picked and a new trial begins. Yes. This case doesn't go away, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, because this is not conduct from the prosecution or the defense, as far as we know. And
the only way it would go away is if it was misconduct by the prosecution.
Yes,
and then they would have to call for a mistrial with prejudice.
Yeah. But I don't think that's the case. So unless there is some kind of prosecutional misconduct, then it's a mistrial with prejudice.
Intentional prosecution.
Intentional.
Yeah. And the judge has to decide if it's intentional.
Just to clarify, this is another incident besides the media stuff up the other day. Yes.
Well,
this is not from the last week when they were filmed. Okay. This is another thing.
Oh, okay. I thought it was her seeing something from that time.
No, this was she saw herself on the screen as she walked out. That is the Zoom cameras.
Okay.
Yeah. But then again, if anybody is broadcasting through the Zoom cameras, then that might be out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if they're doing the official Zoom feed on the Georgia's website,
And
They show the
and the Zoom feed is also in the viewing room. And yeah,
okay, that, and now just raising that, they're going to, people could be looking at that more closely.
yeah,
This
Yeah.
is so insane.
yeah.
Like,
I cannot for my life understand how they haven't positioned the cameras so, or anybody in the control room just click off when the jury walks out. I mean, they have to test this beforehand. They have to. But regarding what happened last week, I don't think there's, I don't know if someone's nephew or if I don't know, Becky Hill is involved. No, she isn't. But but Jesus,
maybe your son. Oh no, he's in jail.
yeah. I mean, this.
This is infuriating. This is their lives. It can affect the entire proceeding. They're spending millions of taxpayer dollars on this.
Yeah, and it took them 11 months to find a jury to this, and we are 2 weeks in. Not even. No, we're on
7
day
days
7.
in, 8 days
Day
in,
7.
day 7.
Yeah.
And the jury is down one alternate already.
Yeah.
You have another juror who is
And this is the foreman. This is the jury foreman as well, who they picked as their spokesperson.
And if it continues, then you have to worry about him running his mouth at some point. And
Her.
3, 4 3, 4, 5 months down the road.
Yeah.
What is she going to slip out to the jury? Contaminate them, worry about their fear or safety?
Yeah, I know. Atlanta First is also live streaming this.
From different angles?
No, they use the same feed.
Oh, same feed. Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably
But
for TV.
if there is a Zoom feed, and people, I
Yeah.
don't know, I haven't even looked for access to that one because I don't enjoy it. But
I don't.
others might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there
Others
is
might.
most trials. I was looking at some in Michigan today for something else. They have a live feed for whenever the court proceedings are live during the day.
Yeah.
You can just go to their YouTube channel or their website and watch from like a security camera or whatever. So that's a separate feed.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep listening to this.
Yeah, sorry.
Because now the judge is starting to take out jurors one by one and ask them the same question.
Please be seated. Let me talk to a representative or two from the defense and the state, please.
This first. Which means this is the sidebar. Sidebar-counter number 31. And this goes on for a bit. Was just recommended. Oh, well, thank you for joining. I hope I can provide with good commentary to the cluster F that is the Young Thug RICO trial. Thank you for being here.
sorry, man. You guys have to talk a little bit. All right, Sean Brown, let me go ahead and ask you to bring out, ask juror number 39, 39, please, to come out and visit with us.
39. Juror 39.
Hey, juror 39, can you come on up here and have a seat at the witness chair, please?
The first two?
Yeah, oh, y'all can be seated. Please be seated, everybody. All right. No, come over here.
Right.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, camera's off, and we just need to ask you a question, okay?
Sure.
All right. Madam, did you overhear juror 409, it's one of the, I think the ladies that sits in the front row, talk about the media in any way?
No.
Okay, thank you much. That's all I need to ask you, okay?
Okay.
All right, you seem disappointed. All right, but okay. All right, listen, madam, don't tell anybody else what I asked you, okay? Just go back in there and I'll call for you in just a little bit, okay? All right, thank you so much. Number 56, please, sir.
Juror 56. Nobody on, John? Nothing?
No pictures.
Right there.
No, I'm,
Yeah, I see.
okay, all right. All right, juror number 56. I've called you back out here to talk about the lunch issue. No, I'm just teasing you. All right, okay. Juror 56, did you, I just need to ask you a question, in all seriousness. Did you know juror 409 is sitting in the front row over there?
I know of, yes.
Okay, did you ever hear talk anything about the media?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, just don't discuss anything we just talked about, okay?
Okay.
And we'll call you back out in just a minute.
Okay, all right.
All right, juror number 71, please.
71. Juror 71.
Yeah, juror 71, can you sit up here, please, sir? Up here, the witness stand? Witness stand,
Oh,
yeah.
right here.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right, juror 71, just need to ask you a couple of questions. Do you know who juror 409 is that sits in the front row over here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you overhear her talk anything about the media?
No, sir.
Okay, that's all I need to ask you, okay? Don't discuss anything we talked about, and I'll call you back out in just a minute, okay? All right, juror 98, please.
Juror, what number?
98, sir.
98.
Thank you, sir. Juror 98, madam, can I get you to have a seat up here in the witness chair? Up here? All right, thank you so much. Juror 98, do you know who juror 409 is that sits in the front row over here?
409. I don't know by name, but
You know, Juror? You know her? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, got to answer for the record. Okay, all right. Madam, did you overhear her talk anything about the media?
the media, no.
Okay, that's all I need to ask you, okay?
Okay.
All right, if you'll just step back and don't discuss anything we talked about, and I'll call you back out in just a little bit, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you so much. 179, please, sir, name.
What's that nine?
Yeah, and yeah,
Madam, can I get you to have a seat up here, please? Thank you so much. All right, juror 179, madam, do you know who juror 409 is, the lady that sits in the front row? Do you know her?
409, are you referring to the lady?
Don't say her name, but do you know who she is?
I'm trying to think. Is she the one that you excused?
I'm sorry?
Is she the one that you excused?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last name. Oh, no. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
well, no, I don't
No, ma'am.
know.
That's juror 269,
Okay.
okay? But do you know who juror 409 is?
No.
She sits in the front row?
No.
Okay. Did you ever hear anything about talk about the media?
No.
Okay, that's all I need to ask you. Just don't discuss anything. I just asked you, and you can step in the back. I'll call you back in just a little bit, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. All right. 187, please, signing.
187?
Yes, sir.
187. In this room.
Okay. All right, we'll skip 187. How about 204, sir?
204.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, they kept asking the jurors, and it's all the jurors said they didn't overhear her say anything about this her conversation with the bailiff. So what happened? Because they cut out the live feed from Law and Seward, and but he brought the entire jury in and reminded them to stay off social media, because once they were sworn in October, they were told you're not allowed to go on social media at all, apparently.
At all?
Yeah. They were sworn to stay off social media because in Atlanta, this is huge. You cannot avoid anything.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is one concern. That now she said that this was before they were sworn in, that she saw that post. But now when the bailiff asked her, "Can you show me the screenshot?" All of a sudden, there she is on social media. That is, in my opinion, that's a huge mistake from the bailiff.
Yeah.
He should have, okay, let's go to the judge. And but here we are. It's,
Okay. That would be torture for me, but okay.
Yeah, so we learned from that no one overheard the conversation and no one knows who the foreperson is, which means that this is a judge-appointed foreperson. Sorry.
Bless you.
Oh.
Always.
Sorry, folks.
So, like in Murdoch, I mean, that's the only other time I've heard of a judge-appointed foreperson.
Yeah, but that's
Normally they
how
do it
he
themselves.
described this person. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh. I'm about to sneeze again. Yeah, I muted myself while sneezing. Thank you. Prosit and bless you and everything. And yeah.
Thankfully, my mic has a nice, easy button to hit.
Yeah, I have to go on the screen
Yeah.
here because I have buttons on this one, but I'm scared to touch it because it works, and I don't want. If it works, I'm not touching it. I mean, there are some. I can do something over here and something over here. There's a wheel of some sort, but no, it works.
I know. I've got like gain, and whenever I do it, it like sounds super weird. So I just turn it all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah, but this was the controversy, and the judge still have to make some form of decision till tomorrow, because now she brought up that she has a fear of being seen.
She should.
And we already know front row where she sits.
She was in the front row?
Yeah.
That was one of the ones who was doxxed?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if she sat in the front row, and we do know that the front row last week was seen.
Yeah,
and yeah. Oh, thank you. Hey, Brandon, for your $5. Might as well contribute to bad behavior over here as well. What I missed? You missed a juror who saw herself on the Zoom feed when they walked out from court earlier today, and she was afraid that this Zoom feed was shown out to the viewing room.
Hey, everyone gets 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, and so she brought that up to the bailiff because she remembered a post from October of last year about whatever it was. So the bailiff asked her to, can you show me that screenshot? Sure, she said, opened up her phone and started scrolling down her social media. And in that social media, of course, was something from this week's trial. And they were sworn in last year. When they were sworn in, they were told, you do not go onto social media. So the bailiff made a mistake as well. He should have brought her to the judge immediately. But here we are. And we don't know what the judge decides until tomorrow. So that is what happened at the end of today. But now we have what happened in other shape or form today. And today was cops reading from their reports because they can't remember shit. But the cross-examination is interesting. So we will focus more on the cross-examinations today. And hold on while I check the witness list for today. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, but we are. Let's remove that one. And yeah, they were an hour late today. Again.
Mr. You and Mr. Matthews Jr. and Sr.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Brandon. For another $5. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! How many do they have left? Well, they have only lost one juror. We don't know if the judge eventually decides to remove this one as well. We will probably find out tomorrow. But he, after they questioned all the jurors, about media, he brought them all in, and then don't go on social media, folks.
Imagine 2 jurors in 1 week or 2 weeks.
I mean, he is invested in this trial as well. His case go to the jury. And he already lost one because she was in the hospital. She was hospitalized this weekend, and they had to release her.
Just imagine a juror gets threatened or hurt or the family blackmailed. He'd have no liability, though.
Yeah. And they lost one juror after 1 week. And this is at least 6 months, probably up to a year. And they have 12 jurors and 6 alternates. And now they're already down 1 alternate. Yeah, this will be interesting. This might be, statistically, we already had one due to illness. And statistically, there will be one more. Because
in the next month,
flu, cold, other illnesses, car crash,
Chinese pneumonia disease.
Yeah, they went to the local taco spot and now she had the runs for 3 days. I don't know, but yeah, and we still also learned that the judge hasn't told the jury that the front row of the jury has already been seen online because the camera guy on Law and Seaward panned
I think it was Court TV.
Or Court TV panned a little bit too far to the left.
Law and Crime denied it.
Yeah. I don't care who the camera guy was, but it was Law and Seaward uses the same feed. Now, I'm in luck because, as you see here, I have an overlap between me and the stream, and I have Mr. Jingles over the Law and Seaward logo, so they weren't shown on my feed.
Yeah. Yeah. How many jurors are trying to get out of it now?
Yeah, they might have to, if the jury pools goes down one more because of this. Yeah, the judge might have to take a decision about sequestration because he has to isolate these people from disease, from everything. Yes,
This-
Melissa.
I mean, this
Mr.
jury
Jingles- Mr.
may be
Jingles
like
said
OJ.
today.
The OJ jury mutinied one day
Mm.
when they were mostly black. One of the bailiffs was black, and he was transferred out. They felt comfortable with him. They wanted him back, so they're like, "We're not going to sit there and watch one more minute of the trial until the juror came, or until the bailiff came back."
Hmm.
I mean, and he came back.
Yeah.
They have power.
Yeah. But yeah, let's listen to what was trial. So now all of you who have just tuned in for the jury controversy, that part is now done. Remember, thumbs up. You on rewatch stuff, thumbs up. Subscribe. Yeah, you know all this. And hi, by the way, if you're completely new here, I'm Nick. I'm a junior rep. I do labor law. And so I do have a law degree, so I have somewhat experience about law. And I hope to be able to guide you all through this trial to the best of my abilities. With commentary, with snark, with laughs, and once in a while a guest shows up. And I already had a question from a US-based lawyer who isn't Dave. He might join later, so we can bring this issue up with him so he can explain it more than I can. Okay, let's continue with the rest of the trial, but first something I always forget to do. Oh, I'm having too much fun with my sushi. Traveling science man, do I want the Georgia Criminal Code? I have it, but thank you. So I have the Georgia RICO Act, so I've been reading through it, and it's broader than a horse's ass and more vague than a politician. And here we are with 191 underlying acts under the first charge, which is the RICO charge. Oh, Traveling Science Man was the one who recommended me. Oh, thank you so much to Mentally Disturbed Llama, which goes well with my guest today, who is Dali.
I am the Dalai Lama now.
Yes, so we have the Dali here and the llama over there. Oh, swoosh. Yes, for you who don't know, this is my Norwegian fire farting dragon. Because nobody can sneak up from behind on him.
Well, not pleasantly.
Yes, there will be bad jokes. Welcome to my show.
Well, you should have seen my stream earlier with Mo.
Oh, I listened in. Yeah,
You killed me.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh,
For you who don't know, there was sentencing in a trial, and one of the people who started talking about his feelings about this was talking about how he lost business and stuff like that. But he is a manufacturer and seller of adult toys. And it's hard to keep your composure when, I mean, a manufacturer of adult toys is talking about losing business. And there were jokes and there were laughs. And it was totally unprofessional. But sometimes you just can't help yourself. And as I said there, he started measuring in centimeters instead of inches, so it became a shortage.
oh, God.
Yeah. So once we're done here, go over to Mo in the Deep End's channel, and it's dark. It's dark humor. It's
We were
gallows.
actually much more I almost cried, and
Yeah.
I never cry. I never face my emotions. I had them deep and dark, and I was about to approach them, and then that happened, and I could just be like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna just screw this. I'm gonna just make fun of it."
Divok, you meant to say Divok. Also, you should take before and after picture, as this trial is never ending. Yeah. Unless there's a mistrial, this will go on. And I have invested myself into covering this trial from gavel to gavel. Either live stream, recaps, or yeah, I will cover it. But thank you, Brandon, for another $5. You know I appreciate you a lot. And for you who are still here, Thursday, same thing. I will start around 6 p.m. if there is a trial. Friday, I will live stream because I took a day off work, and because I'll be working 14-hour days, Monday through Thursday, and yeah, so Friday off. So I will stream that live, but the judge has announced that Friday will be a half day. So once we get through that half day,
And he's still going to be 90 minutes late.
yeah, I mean, if he's still going to be late, it's a 30-minute stream before lunch. But if when we go through there, I will stream another RICO case, which is the former President Trump RICO case. Had a hearing last week, so I will stream that, and then then somewhere along the line we just go over to my Finally Friday stream where we just have fun.
Was Friday, was that the Anderson one?
Friday, I might do the Anderson podcast. There's a new podcast out there, so we will do.
Okay.
I will do that podcast during the Finally Friday.
What time do you think?
Maybe that probably around 6 p.m. The Finally
Eastern?
Friday. Eastern.
Okay. Perfect. I got a Pearl Harbor stream I'm doing with Max Mura, so that'll be perfect.
And yes, Brandon, I saw your Divok super chat. I want to keep my channel, please, YouTubes. Oh, Eastern Standard. Okay, but yeah.
Easter. Yeah, 6 p.m. Easter. We're planning out.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but let's go through what actually happened during today's trial.
Good morning, gentlemen. Mr. Nichols, Mr. Harvey, Ms. Westmoreland.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning.
Roll call. Not
Mr.
that
Ryan, Mr.
interesting.
Williams. Jurors with witnesses, Ms. Hilton, to have today. All right, just work on it. Okay. And I just go ahead and can call my jury. Is Ms. Hilton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Steele, I'd like to have one morning where you don't rise to, and I just go ahead and can call my jury. Just one morning. Not today.
Oh,
Okay.
the bitch face juror. Sorry,
okay?
B-face juror.
Okay, what
Court
does he want to
reporter.
tell me, sir?
Almost looked amused.
We had no opposition.
Hold on, wait. Gotta watch the door, okay? All right, three things. One, you have no opposition to what, sir?
And we request, Officer Harris is going to be a witness. Your Honor, court instruct that his face not be bigger than the plain clothes of police officer. He asked me to make that request. A copy of the state note about that. And they,
Okay, has that been communicated to our members of the media?
I don't know.
Okay, well, okay. when's Mr. Harris going to testify?
I believe we're talking about Mr. Henry, Your Honor.
Mr. Henry?
He is, it's okay, he will be witness number 5.
Okay, before we get to that, just remind me, and I'll remind our members of the media.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Steele, for that.
That's one. Okay, who else, sir? What else?
We have 2 motions. Mr. Greer, over objection, he's not a party here on this case before the South Court trial, but state with court permission is going to introduce the 2020 incident. He's in a gas station parking lot, allegedly shot.
Jesus Christ.
And the law enforcement officers stopped him. There's another person with a gun too. But I believe that law enforcement was under the belief that he's a convicted felon for murder. So they charged him with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. What I'd like the court to note and to order is that the officer is not being allowed to say that he is not a convicted felon. His most recent trial was actually granted, and he won that case in the Georgia Supreme Court to not a convicted felon. So I make a motion limited to exclude that convicted felon.
And this is in regards to, again, sir?
Montavious Greer.
All right. And what's the incident date again?
2020, let me get my note. Mr. Harvey just voted September 5.
All right. Ms. Hilton, are you all intending to talk about that at all?
Your Honor, we'll instruct the officer not to
Mention anything about him being a convicted felon? Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that will be briefed. Which officer is going to testify about that?
That is going to be Officer Dwayne Thomas.
So you're going to have a conversation with Officer Thomas about that, right?
There were 2 officers actually, the other gentleman.
Who's the other officer?
Investigator McKessie.
Investigator McKessick?
Yes,
McKessie.
McKessie?
Yes, sir.
All right, so both of those will be instructed accordingly, correct?
Yes, Mr. Brown.
The Brown's going to do that.
All right.
Yeah, they had issues with sound. They're not in the good way.
This is regarding
Mulehammer, we need you.
Mr. Myrick and 2 other people who are not here, Your Honor. Mr. Matthews and Mr.
I'm not trying to wimp out. I'm covering this very, very long case, gavel to gavel.
He's just praying for a mistrial. That's all.
No, I'm
Please,
not.
please be excused, please.
I'm not voting because the absolute cluster F of this trial. If they take only 6 months, the first 4 months will be the state's case in chief. Then you have 1 month of the defense case in chief. Then you have rebuttal, and then you have closing arguments, which will take about a year and a half. And I mean,
Will the defense only take 1 month? There's 8 or 6 of them.
Yeah, but they have only 59 witnesses on their witness list.
Oh, well, only 59.
Yeah, only 59.
That's all.
Hey,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate you supporting this channel. Hey, Dave, you stole hella from me today, you ass. Oh, all right. Let's continue with trial.
It was Price. Are allegedly arm robbing a young lady. There's a gun put into her face. Supposedly, if they ring the doorbell, there's a plan. Law enforcement does investigation, the arrest. Mr. Myers is not on trial with the other 2 persons of his name. And supposedly, Mr. Myers, as well as the other 2 people, pursuant to interrogation, they waived their Miranda rights, allegedly admitted that they are part of a criminal street gang, YSL, and that they were doing this on robbery and other crimes to raise $25 to pay initiation. That's according to the belief, unless those witnesses testify, that would be a competition clause violation. It would not be part of any conspiracy. It would be, as you know, Stafford, which we cited earlier, quote, spilling the beans, or does it come under the statute? Either way, it's a violation of Constitution. So we would ask that the witnesses be instructed not to mention any interrogation for three non-testifying parties.
Any,
Your Honor, if I can have a moment for that particular motion, I would like to be able to look up some case law. That act is going this afternoon. And so we just have a moment just to look.
is Mr. Who is the witness
Ma'am,
again,
can you
Mr. Steele? I'm
smile?
sorry.
Smile, man.
That's going to be
Mr.
Detective, or actually, Sergeant Logan, Juror.
And he's going to testify about the three people are again, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Myrick, who is in COVID-19.
All right, Mr. Myrick, okay, but the other three,
Other two.
is Mr. Myrick going to testify consistent with what you just told me about raising the $25? And he's a member of YSL?
To my knowledge, no.
All right,
He's a severed COVID-19.
okay,
The other two people are not on the state's witness list.
okay.
And that was again, Mr. Matthews, like Bianca Carton, and then Mr. Price.
All right, so, madam, you wish to have a little time to think about that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I guess my question for you, you're planning on calling Myrick, or does that particular issue with, the issue with Matthews and Price, are they in any way charged in the indictment, or?
Matthews and Price are not charged in this indictment. And
Okay.
at this time, I think there's a decision being made on what media will be coming into evidence. And so I just want to get some clarity, because we might be able to resolve it if the media isn't coming in at all, or there's no intentions to bring in the media. So I just need to.
Okay, have we discussed the witness identifying defendant? Nope. 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 That is still ahead. That is still ahead. That was interesting. As I said, the cross-examinations are much more interesting.
Learn that information.
Okay, all right, well, we need to take that up accordingly before Sergeant Logan or testifies, okay?
Definitely, Your Honor.
All right, anything else, Mr. Steele? That's your three things.
That's right.
All right, anybody else? Okay, some of our jurors for us, Sergeant Ingram. Thank you.
Oh, Your Honor,
I gotta
they're
get going.
coming in.
I'll,
Maybe
Okay.
approach briefly.
Thanks for letting me be here. I'll see you
It'll
later.
take about.
Thanks for joining. See you later.
Stop, just don't, I can't get granularity out of anybody, Sergeant Ingram. All right, come on up.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
I get the information I walk back into the room.
Can I have a representative, please? Okay, it's talk radio. Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry. Mhm.
And this is sidebar counter number 32. Day 7. 32 sidebars so far. Yeah, I mean, whoever this cameraman is, yeah, not doing a good job. Let's skip ahead a bit.
Okay, I think now we can summon our jurors, Sergeant Ingram. Christine, here's your recorder.
Mr. Kerr, do you have share capabilities? First, will be investigator.
Members of the media, our first witness and our fifth witness, Sergeant McKessie, and then there's a person by the name of Mr. Henry. If you could not film the two of them, just those two, McKessie and Radcliffe. So McKessie's our first witness, okay? All right, thank you.
Yeah. And anybody wonders what this is? That is Mr. Jingles. It's my farm
All right,
cat
ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
in a Viking helmet and a suit. He is the channel's mascot, and he actively tries to kill me.
All jurors present, sir?
Yes, sir. All present, count for.
Okay, all right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, jury.
Good morning.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Fully caffeinated, shirted up jury. Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, we're going to go ahead and continue with the presentation of the state's case. Ms. Hilton and Mr. Brown, call your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. At this time, Your Honor, the state calls Investigator Stephen McKessie to the stand.
I summon Investigator McKessie, please. Investigator McKessie, good morning, sir. If you would please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you'd be so kind to turn and face Sergeant Ingram and be sworn as a witness, please, before you sit down.
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, let's see here if you can see it again.
Once you get there, if you'd be...
Nope. Another
Look
at
McKessie,
what
good morning,
this-
sir. If you would please approach the witness.
asshat does. He pans over the Zoom feed. Now, luckily, he pans too fast, so we can't get a good look at it. But that's an issue.
Stand. Once you get there, if you'd be so kind to turn and face Sergeant Ingram and be sworn as a witness, please, before you sit down.
Yes, sir.
I mean, they should drug test that camera guy.
You swear firm testimony, you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? I do. That's it. State spell the first and last name for the court, please.
Investigator Stephen McKessie.
Good morning.
Spell it.
Last name, my first name is spelled S-T-E-P-H-E-N. Last name is M-C-K-E-S-E-Y.
Good morning, Investigator McKessie.
Good morning.
Are you employed?
Yes, I am.
And where do you work?
Atlanta Police Department,
And how long have you worked there?
22 years.
And when did you start?
May 8th of 2001.
And what was your role when you first got started with AP?
Started as a recruit, and then I went to, when I finished completing my mandate school, I went to Zone 1 Patrol.
Okay, and to be sure, deputy stands for Atlanta Police Department, correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you held any other positions other than investigators since you were deputy?
Yes, sir. As an officer, I was on audit task force. In 2008, I was promoted to investigator. I did general investigations. I went to narcotics as an investigator.
Most of the witnesses are asked to not be filmed because dangerous, because RICO, because gang. Yeah. Brave law enforcement.
Investigator, ATF task force. I'm on a future unit by way of the U.S. Marshal Task Force.
Okay. And are you post certified?
Yes, I am.
Were you post certified on September 5th, 2022?
Yes, I was.
2022.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Do you remember working an extra job on?
Whoever does the sound in that courthouse should be fired as well.
What kind of extra job?
So I was working in Zone 1 at the Exact Speech. It's a restaurant.
Okay. And how were you dressed for that job?
Per SOP, I was dressed in full Class A uniform.
Okay. And around what time did you finish your shift?
About 10:30, 11 o'clock.
And what's the address of the extra job?
It's 946 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
And
Where, if anywhere, did you go after you finished your shift?
I was headed southbound 75, realized I needed some gas, so I got off on Cleveland Avenue and went to the Chevron on Cleveland Avenue.
You know the address of that Chevron?
221 Cleveland Avenue,
And what county is that Chevron located?
Fulton County.
And what type of vehicle were you traveling?
I was in my city unmarked vehicle, which is a gray F-150, Ford F-150.
And are you familiar generally with the area of 221 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes, sir.
And how are you familiar with that area?
Working off the task force, we would be assigned to that area to look for stolen vehicles. When I was doing narcotics undercover work, there was a time we purchased narcotics from that area. Also being on fugitive, we would get files with people that is wanted from that area, and I have to go around there and try to locate them.
Okay. And can you tell the jury what you know generally about the 221 Cleveland Avenue area?
Basically, it's a known drug area with a lot of violence.
Hold on, stop.
I'm sorry.
What's your objection, sir?
Okay.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
You're a man with the
Yes.
Would you like to approach?
You can approach. Okay, hold on. I'm going to overrule my objection, Mr. Steele. I'm going to overrule my ruling, okay? I'm going to overrule the objection, okay?
He changed his mind. Okay.
So I'll restate the question. What do you know generally about the 221 Cleveland Avenue area?
It's a known drug area. There's a lot of different type of crimes that occur in that particular gas station address. It's also known for being a gang area as well.
And I am now going to show what this court division, what is exhibits 157N through 163N, which is still shots. With permission to approach, I will do so, Your Honor.
You said that you're going to show 163 and what through what?
157N, 158N.
At the 2-hour mark on the stream, I will talk more about the future plans of this channel and my rolling studio I plan to build or renovate in the spring. But that's on the 2-hour mark.
159N, 160N, 161N, 162N, and 163N.
All right, you may approach, sir.
Thank you. Mr. McKinney, can I see, after you had a chance to look at what I presented you, get back up, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Not a pro tip, not legal advice, but if you are waiting for the jury to enter, this is not a good look. If it scratches, sit down and scratch. Okay? Not legal advice. What you drinking? Lemonade at the moment. I have work in the morning. So sadly, this trial is an alcohol-infused trial. Should be. But no, not for me. Maybe Thursday, since I'm free Friday. And Friday. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yes, this channel does not give legal, medical, or scratching areas advice.
These are still shots of 221 Cleveland Avenue.
And how do you know those are?
This is the night of the incident that we're discussing today.
Okay. And have those still images, do those still images accurately? I'm sorry,
Thank you, Brandon.
Earlier?
Max out YouTube on $5 chats, but I'm running out of motivation.
Do you want to see?
Well, let's see here. Where are we? We are at $25. If we reach 50, I will show what my Christmas shirt can do. It has lights. Oh, cross-examination. No?
For the record, these are still images from the body cam that were provided in the discovery report.
No, they only wanted to look at.
And resuming the question, Investigator McKessie, do these still images from the body cam accurately depict the events of September 5th, 2020, as you recall them?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit states exhibits.
I am back at work in about 7 hours. So,
Any objection?
and I need sleep before that.
All right.
So, sorry.
157N through 163N are admitted and may be published as you see fit.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Investigator McKessie, either with the exhibits,
No,
the evidence that are in front of you or looking at the screen.
I've said this before and everybody knows it. If I, during a stream, have $10,000 in super chats, I will do the next stream in a pink bikini. Thank you again, Brandon. Thank you so much. They are trying 6 defendants at once, Nanya Witness. There are a combined 10 lawyers. And we are up to, let's see, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $10 short. Thank you so much.
Can you tell the jury what we're looking at on this particular exhibit, 157N?
I highly doubt I will ever reach. I highly doubt I will ever reach that size of a channel that I can assume getting 10 grand in super chats in one stream, but it's a goal.
Right here, this is my truck. I was at the gas pump trying to get some gas. Of course, this is the Chevron in the middle. You have the fish and wing spot. Over here is a income tax place. And then over here is a corner that leads you to the back of the building.
Oh, for frick's sake. Stop doing that.
I'll explain why I said that later.
I do want to go back a few steps really quickly and further expound about something you said earlier. Earlier you talked about 221 Cleveland Avenue being a gang area. What do you mean by that?
It has a reputation where there's a lot of gang activities going on where they sell drugs in that area. They seem like they hang out there to sell some of their narcotics.
Thank you, Sherry, for your super sticker. Let's see what my... Hold on. Where's the on switch? Ta-da! Yay! Yeah, that's it. I can do. You can see it better. All right, let's move on.
Overruled. Overruled.
Oh, for frick's sake, what's going on?
About how far is the 221 Cleveland Avenue area away from 151 Cleveland Avenue?
Less than a mile.
Turning back to this picture, I would like to ask you, well, before we go into the picture a little further.
Sound is boosted up. I can't get it any higher.
Well, I was off duty. Like I said, I was just getting some gas. That evening was kind of busy. There was a lot going on in that evening in the Atlanta area in general. Before I came here, I was involved in an incident over by my ex job.
Yeah, which one? You got Mr. Steele? Yeah, okay, all right. What's your response?
Thank you, Brandon.
Overruled.
I'm perfectly happy with the endorsement you give my channel as it is.
Another incident
Perfectly
in
happy.
another area where there were shots fired in that particular area, which is near my exit job. Because of that reason, I had to keep my uniform on. Normally I would take it off, but I kept my uniform on at that time. I also had to have a different kind of firearm with me to protect myself in that incident. When I left that area, I came over to, I was going 75 southbound, where I noticed I needed some gas. So I stopped at this particular gas station, which is closer to the freeway. I pulled up to a pump, noticed that the pump was broken. I noticed there was a lot of people. When I first pulled in, there was a lot of people in the area. Then I went over to the pump closer to the restaurant. I noticed it was candles, like they had a candlelight vigil in that area. And then I also noticed a whole bunch of people was congregating. One particular vehicle struck my attention at the time, which was a red sedan. Inside the red sedan, there was a lot of lighting in the area, but inside the red sedan, I saw a guy sitting in a passenger seat with a rifle. The rifle was sitting, it seemed like he was holding the rifle. You could see the butt stock of the rifle. Even at one time he had lift the rifle up and you could see the actual barrel of the rifle. So I was able to tell it was some kind of AK-47 rifle, style rifle.
That is the stream sound or the court sound that goes up and down. Just saying it's not me.
Noticed a lot of commotion going on. All of a sudden, a white sedan pulls up. The sedan parks next to the red sedan. At that point, I kept my eyes on the person in the red sedan because of the rifle aspect of it. All of a sudden, this older gentleman comes out of the store. He started cussing, using profanity, talking about he's gonna kill somebody.
So let's unpack some of what you discussed just now. So with the exhibit that is on the screen, can you point to the red sedan that you said that you saw the individual with the rifle style firearm located?
So it's parked over by the fish and wing spot back then, and it has its lights on.
And I will just allow you to know that screen is a smart screen, and I believe if you touch it, it will annotate where you're talking about.
Okay, it's actually right here.
Yes. Okay, so that car that is close to that white sedan by that fish spot, is that where you were pointing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many people were in that vehicle when you saw it?
It was 2 at the time.
Okay. And at that time, after you observed that, earlier you stated that you had a firearm.
Yes, sir.
What type of firearm did you have?
I had my handgun that I normally carry, and also had a AR-15 rifle, which is also city issue.
When you went to that location, were you working in undercover capacity?
No, I wasn't.
Were you looking for anyone particular?
Traveling scienceman. Just to be clear, this is someone not on trial they are talking about. Yes. This is a person who is not included in the RICO charge. But they allege that he is associate with or a member of the YSL gang. And as an underlying act under the RICO charge, they bring up these crimes. And this one, I believe, he was convicted of back in May of 2020, which is 2 years before the RICO charges was even brought. So, yeah. So they are taking a second bite at the apple by bringing a crime someone else did, was convicted of, and is doing time for as an underlying act under the RICO Act in this RICO charge. $5. Thank you, Brandon. I thought you were above line. That's Sweden audio. No, it isn't. It's the court audio. I promise. I'm a bad liar.
No, I wasn't.
Were you in any way, shape, or form there for anything other than gas?
No, sir.
And you indicated earlier that there was an older gentleman. Do you recall making that statement?
Yes.
Earlier you stated that he was saying something. Can you describe what those things that you heard?
Yes, sir. He was ranting, saying, "I'm gonna kill this motherfucker." That's pretty much what I heard. He continued just to rant, just one that stuck out. He said, "I'm gonna kill this motherfucker."
What did the other people around in that environment appear to be doing?
They were just looking at him. At the time, they were just looking at him, just watching him rant.
Okay. Just briefly, why did you move your vehicle from the first pump that you parked?
Hello, Wilhelm Media.
And after moving your vehicle from the first pump, how did you position your vehicle?
Facing the actual store.
Yeah. By the way, one thing that is absolutely moronic as of now, the last thing the judge did yesterday was to tell the prosecution and the defense to use their microphones. And so far, have they? No.
Based on this picture that is in evidence, was your vehicle facing the red Honda that you're looking at?
Directly in front of red Honda, yes, sir.
All right. And so with this, from this vantage point, it was very easy for you to see into that vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
And after you observed the man ranting as you described, what else, if anything, did you observe?
That's when I saw the white Malibu pull up and back in.
And based on this picture that is in evidence already, can you point to the jury where that vehicle, the white Malibu that you're describing, is located?
Yes, sir. The vehicle's back in front of the fish and wing place.
Okay. Is that to the left of this screen?
On the left, correct.
And who was in that vehicle that backed in when you described?
It was a driver. It was a passenger and a backseat passenger who later was identified as Quintavious Greer.
Okay. And we'll get to that. Can you describe in total how many people in that vehicle?
Three.
Okay. And I'm going to use it while you use that screen. Just briefly. And right in front of us is exhibit 158N. Can you describe for the jury what that is that we're looking at in this particular vantage point?
This is the same area where the white vehicle was backed in front of the restaurant, the fish and wing restaurant.
Okay. Do you see a gray truck in this exhibit?
Yes, that's my gray truck.
Okay. And is that white sedan that you were speaking about in front of this fish and wing spot, the one that you paid attention to particularly that night?
I started paying attention to, yes, sir.
Okay. Can you describe, based on your vantage point, what if anything, you observed the occupants of that vehicle, the white sedan that you do?
So at the time, I guess the older male was, going through his ranting, and all of a sudden I see the driver get out of the vehicle and hand the old male a firearm. At that point, I saw Mr. Greer exit out the backseat passenger side with a firearm in his hand.
Did you observe these individuals get out of the vehicle only one time?
No, sir.
Okay. How many times did they get out of the vehicle?
The driver got out the vehicle twice, and Mr. Greer got out the vehicle twice.
Okay. So let's go through the first exit from the white sedan. When they exited the white sedan the first time, can you describe for the jury what you observed?
So the first time, the driver gets out the vehicle, approaches the older male, and hands him a firearm. Mr. Greer exits out his vehicle, out the same vehicle in the backseat passenger.
Just a question, officer. Why did you only take pictures and not film it? Because we can't see what you are claiming. Can we? Huh? Weird, isn't it?
And had a gun in his hand.
And did anything occur after that?
At that point, Mr. Greer puts the firearm in his waistband and sits back down in the vehicle. The driver walks back towards the vehicle, also sits down in the vehicle. At that point, the old man rushes towards the front of the door as if he's going inside of the Chevron. He walks inside, he comes right back outside. He began still, cussing. It seemed like he was under influence. He also began waving the handgun in the air, saying he's going to shoot all these motherfuckers. At that point, the driver then gets back out the vehicle, grabs the gun from the old man, and goes back to the vehicle. And that's when I see Mr. Greer get out the vehicle and start walking towards the income tax place.
All right. Were you able to get? Let me ask you this. Was there anything about that, what you observed that drew your attention to that man running with a gun?
I mean, it's just a man running with a gun, and he was like, you know, there were, besides the man running with the gun, but also, you know, like I said, I was able to be looking at it and keep my eyes on it. I was able to describe to people in general what they were doing.
Were you concerned for the overall safety of people in that environment based on what you observed?
Yes, sir.
Is that what prompted you to come out of off-duty mode and become more active as
I stand this leading.
I'll raise your hand.
Okay.
What, if anything, did you observe caused you to do that?
So basically, you know, due to there's innocent people in the area, I felt that I needed to act on it so nobody was to get hurt, nobody would get hurt. I got on my city issue radio, asked for backup. I then waited, kept observation on the individuals to make sure they didn't act the way I thought they was going to act, which at that point, when backup showed up, which made me approach the situation more further, investigate the situation more further.
Okay. And when you, excuse me, when you began to use your radio, what, if anything, did you call out?
I gave the description of the individuals that had the firearm. I also gave a brief synopsis of what happened at that moment, why I was acting the way I was acting. Again, like I said, I stayed in a position so I could keep eyes on everybody until backup showed up.
In your opinion, was there a large group of people outside?
Yeah, there was a lot of people in that area.
All right, looking at Exhibit 159N, which has been admitted, can you tell the jury what you see here?
I see the same area 221 Cleveland Avenue. This is directly in front of the the Chevron, the food mart of the Chevron. To the right is the income tax place. At this point, there was a whole bunch of people just hanging out. You could tell they weren't trying to get gas. They were just hanging out.
And here, what do you see?
This is 221 Cleveland Avenue. On this side of the picture of the 221 Cleveland is the income tax business. These are people that were all congregating on that side of the income tax place. Again, they were just hanging out for that reason.
Okay. I want to turn back to some of the things you said earlier for clarification. Earlier, you stated that you saw Mr. Greer with a firearm. Can you describe what kind of firearm you saw?
Yes, it was a handgun.
Okay. And you recall color?
Black.
And after the occupants of the white Malibu returned to the vehicle, did they get back in?
Yeah, for a second. Okay. And then that's when they got their exit back out and walked towards the income tax place.
And did all of the occupants that returned exit their vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And at which point they exited the vehicle, did they have those firearms still with them?
Yes, I did.
Were you able to see them?
Yes.
Okay. Specifically with Mr. Greer, were you able to see it?
Yes, I did.
Where did he have it?
In his waistband.
Okay. When you say in his waistband, are you talking about in the front or back?
In the front.
Okay. And earlier you provided, you stated that you provided a description of those individuals, those three individuals in that white Malibu. Can you provide that, what you relayed to the jury?
Yes. So the driver was wearing all black. He seemed like he had some kind of rhinestones on his jacket. The passenger, backseat passenger, was wearing a stonewashed jean jacket with a red cap, and the passenger was wearing a red hoodie sweater.
Okay. And Mr. Greer, what was he wearing?
A jean jacket, stonewashed style jean jacket with a red hat or cap.
Okay. And did you ever get a description of the older man?
Yes, he had on a white T-shirt that had blood on his shirt.
Where was the blood located?
In front of, like, this abdomen area.
All right. Did it appear like he had recently been injured?
Yes, sir.
And after you observed the older male with a firearm waving it in the air, what did he do with the firearm?
He gave it to the driver who was wearing the black.
The driver of what vehicle?
Of the white vehicle.
Okay. And can you describe for the jury what that firearm looked like?
That was a black firearm as well, black handgun.
What I don't get, as are these stills from his body cam. Yeah, you see that over on the top right there, body 3, of sorts, which indicates this is his body cam. Weird angles, and if he is in uniform, and we see another cop there on the far right of the picture. So this should mean that this picture is from, or if it's a guard or something, this indicates whatever situation was, it was over. And I can't see a person with a gun. But we do know that this person the person they are referring to was convicted. So they found a gun on him that was stolen. But what is interesting is how he got the gun. And this will be explained a bit later. Oh, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for the super chat. Have they gotten close to trying anyone to a C yet? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. But in this case, so far, all we are hearing about is other people's crimes. But they have a few months to get to the crime they allege the actual people on trial have done. Thank you so much, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Brief indulgence, answer. The second time that these three occupants of the white Malibu exit, can you describe for the jury what you observed them to do?
So the backseat passenger and the driver exit out the white vehicle. The passenger stayed in the vehicle at that moment. Then they walked towards the income tax place, which is on the other side of the plaza, of 221 Cleveland. And I guess again, I was able to see the handgun still on all of them, on both of them.
Okay, and specifically for clarity, can you describe the scene of those in the white Malibu?
So you had the driver wearing all black with the rhinestones, the front passenger wearing the sweatshirt hoodie, backseat passenger wearing a jean jacket, Stonewall style jean jacket with a red cap.
Was it the individual wearing the Stonewall jacket that walked out the second time to the west end of that plaza?
Yes, sir.
And earlier you stated that you radioed. Did you ever call for assistance?
Yes, I did.
And can you acknowledge or can you tell the jury did additional units come?
Yes, they did.
And when I say units, what am I referencing?
The Zone 3 patrol units or CSU units.
Okay. And when the Zone 3 patrol units arrived, what if anything occurred to that?
When he told me they arrived on the radio, I exit out my vehicle. I saw the passenger exit out the vehicle, who was still sitting in the vehicle. I addressed him told him to show me his hands. When I realized I didn't see anything on his possession, I went towards where I saw the two occupants, the driver and the backseat passenger, walk to. I then told the officers to link up with me, gave them a description of who I was looking for, and we approached that particular person in general. The driver decided to continue, when he noted that police was arriving, he decided to continue to walk away from the plaza and run away from the area.
Okay, and was there anyone detained as a result of additional units showing up?
Yeah, so once I gave him the description of the backseat passenger who also had a black firearm, myself and the patrol officers made the approach. I gave verbal commands to the subject. I told him to get on the ground, show me his hands. He complied, laid on the ground. That's when Officer Thomas went and put handcuffs, detained. I told him to go ahead and detain him. And also, I told him to look for the handgun that I saw him having.
Why was the backseat passenger detained?
Because he was one of the ones that had the handgun walking towards the crowd of people. And I wanted to make sure that, I wanted to detain him based on what I saw. To further investigation of the scenario.
Do you do that for safety?
For safety reasons, correct.
And after the backseat passenger, well, let me back up. Whatever happened with the front seat passenger of the white Malibu?
The front seat passenger, he walked away, but he ended up coming towards where we were to try to, I guess, talk to us about, why we have Mr. Green in handcuffs.
And again, it's the court audio that is crap, and I can't do anything about it.
He ran away from the area.
Was he ever located?
No, sir.
Well, the guy who was flinging the gun
After,
around,
passenger was detained,
they never caught him.
was he searched?
Yes, he was.
Why?
To locate the firearm for safety reasons.
Okay, and after that firearm was located, where was it found in his person?
In his waistband, the front part of the waistband.
And was that the firearm that was located on this person the same that you saw him walking with initially?
Yes, sir.
Who was the officer that actually recovered the firearm?
Officer Thomas.
And was there ever a time that how did you come to learn the identity of this secret?
After we received the information, I wrote the information down. I then did my own investigation by running his information and pulling his driver's license information.
Okay. And after he was detained, did you investigate the firearm that was in his possession?
Mr. Officer Thomas ran the information. I did run the information as well. Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, and just a brief indulgence, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
After you looked at the driver's license information up, was there a picture that came up?
Yes.
And did that picture match the person that you had observed on September 5th, 2020?
Just checking, so they don't have that up by mistake, because we've looked at this freaking picture for ages now. Yeah. Mr. Jingles has his own Christmas merch. So if you want to order before Sunday. After that, they won't deliver until after Christmas.
That part I can't remember, sir.
Would you like to? Is there anything that will refresh your recollection?
Thank you again, Brandon. My autocorrect is generously fixing my chats toward me. So you have to be my English interpreter for the next 18 months until trial ends. All right. I will try. I will try. Thank you so much again, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Report.
Now marking for identification purposes.
I have it right here. Sorry, my notes.
Hold on. You have an objection? I'm sorry?
I believe the state is asking here.
I think, I'm gonna overrule your objection. I think he's trying to refresh recollection this time, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
You may.
Refresh his recollection, also known as memorizing what's in his report.
What is the question? No, we state the last question. Here, take a look at the document.
Where was it reported stolen? That part I can't remember, sir.
That's the question I believe is asking. Here's you understand it.
Can you turn your microphone on? I'm sorry, can you turn your microphone on? No.
Your Honor, we understand that the witness is refreshing his recollection with the report, but what he's refreshing his recollection about is hearsay. And that's our objection.
Here, respond, Mr. Brown.
The state position is that he also investigated on his own about firearms.
All right. At this point in time, I'm gonna overrule your objection, sir. I'm overruling objections.
Let's see the document. Sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Coach Brown.
Yes, you may.
And also, may I also add for the record, Your Honor, confrontation clause as well.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Still overruled. Thank you.
Yeah, what they're doing is the objection is both to perhaps get a favorable ruling from the judge, but also to save everything for the appeal. For you who wondered.
Now approaching the witness with states exhibit 200R.
Yes.
Look at the report and Upon having your memory refreshed, you can look at
That lawyer has a great beard.
Yes, sir.
Where was he?
Clayton County, October 30th, 2017.
I want to ask you, follow back with a question as it relates to the area where you were located that evening. Is that area a known gang? Is within that area a known gang? Is it a gang that is known frequently within that?
And again, that is not Ian Runkle. He is not in this trial. That is the man to the right. That's his assistant.
The area where you were located that evening. Is that area a known gang? Is within that area a known gang? Is it a gang that is known frequently within that area? Objection, foundation.
I sustain the objection. You need to lay some more foundation, sir.
Earlier, you testified about your knowledge of the 221 Cleveland Avenue area, correct?
Yes, sir.
And during that time, you indicated that you are aware of that happening.
Yes, sir.
Is it true that? Is it fair to say that you're basing your testimony that is not?
For standards, form the question.
What do you know to be the activity around if any, the activity around the 221 Cleveland Avenue?
Remember how much this Sergeant McKissy is telling how much he knows about the area. Remember that for cross-examination.
A lot of drug activity. It's a high crime area. We consider it a high crime area in Atlanta. There's also a lot of gang involvement in that area as well.
Speaking to that gang involvement that you just mentioned, is there a known gang that is in or about that area of 221 Cleveland Foundations?
Overruled.
You may answer the question.
Yes, there's a known gang called YSL.
No further questions.
Cross.
In my opinion, that is a statement of fact, because under the RICO Act, they have to prove the actual racketeering, the conspiracy, that these are a part of a criminal gang. So when he is saying, yes, there is a known gang there, he is stating a fact. He is not supposed to state facts, in my opinion. But it's a RICO trial, and rules are apparently much, 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 much softer than in an ordinary trial.
Matthew Senior, go right ahead, sir.
Okay, time for cross-examination.
Investigator McKessie. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. My name is Carrington Matthews, and I represent Mr. Marquavius Huey. Can you look around the courtroom and tell me if you see Quantavious Greer in this courtroom?
He was sitting over there, but I don't know if he's sitting there now.
He was sitting over here today?
Looked like him that was sitting over there.
Can you point him out?
I don't see anybody now. I don't see him now.
You believe you saw Mr. Greer this morning?
Yes, sir.
Where did you believe you saw him sitting?
Next to the light-skinned dude.
The light-skinned dude? Okay. What was he wearing?
A suit.
What color was the suit?
A dark color suit.
Did he have on a tie?
Yes, sir.
What color was the tie?
I'm not familiar with this color of the tie.
When did you see him in the courtroom?
It looked like if that wasn't him, I'd have to see that person again. But let's see. Oh no, that's not him. It looks like they favor.
Okay. You're talking about Attorney Gardner?
Yeah, they favor. They look like they'd be brothers.
Okay.
Did you see? And first he says, yes, I saw him here earlier today. And then as the lawyer keeps asking him, he starts to backpedal. The person was never in the courtroom today that he positively identified to have been in the courtroom that morning. That's the level of this trial, where cops positively identifies a person who hasn't been in the courtroom. Now, he did try to backpedal a bit, but the answer is still out there. Let's continue.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand the events of May 8th, 2020. Can you pull up Exhibit 1, or piece of evidence 157N? So we're looking at the food mart, is that correct? Yes. Building?
No, sir.
You're looking at the parking lot, the surface of the parking lot. Do you see any tagging or gang graffiti on any of the parking area?
No, sir.
On the side of the building, we saw some photos on the side of the building. So did you see any gang YSL graffiti on that building?
You saw on the side of the building?
Yes.
I can't see the side of the building.
There were some photos in here. Did you recall maybe taking any photographs or anything of that nature?
No, sir.
Any gang graffiti on this particular gas station building?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, so you got off from a private work detail at a Zaxby's in another part of the city, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you needed gas, and you got off on the expressway, and you went over to this particular gas station, correct?
Yes, sir.
You saw, you moved from one pump to another pump, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you saw what you described as a red vehicle with an...
Thank you again, Brandon. Is there a witness on the docket? Can't we just look it up? I really can't show, but his name is Sergeant McKessie. And about half of the witnesses in this trial that wanted to do not film me. Oh, scared, have an online presence. So yes, if anybody wants to look them up, you can. But I really can't show because I kind of want to respect the court's ruling on that one.
With an individual seated inside of that vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
You said you saw a rifle. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I think you testified that from the vantage point that you were able to determine that rifle was an AK-47
Style.
Okay. Was that rifle ever recovered?
No, sir.
Okay. Why wasn't it recovered?
They want to obey their rights.
Okay, you didn't want to infringe upon their rights, so they had a right to have that particular weapon in their possession?
I mean, yes, sir.
Okay, so you didn't make an arrest of the person with the rifle, correct?
Correct.
You didn't document that person with the rifle was a part of a gang, correct?
Correct.
You didn't document that person with the rifle used that rifle on the premises of the Chevron, correct?
Correct.
No one inside the Chevron called law enforcement and said, hey, there's a guy with a rifle in a red vehicle, and I would ask that you all remove him from our premises, correct?
Correct.
You've not gotten any calls from any disturbances that had occurred at the Chevron this particular evening, correct?
No, sir.
Even this person that you said you heard ranting, if you would, with a gun in his hand, no manager inside the food mart, no employee, no citizen or anyone called 911 saying that this person was creating a disturbance, correct?
Well, my radio was turned off because I was off. So they did call 911. That's something we have to contact communications to get that information.
And any follow-up that you did in this case, you did not document that any 911 calls had ever been made concerning any disturbances at this particular food mart, correct?
I didn't look at that particular part of the investigation up. Again, if you contact communications, you can see if there was some kind of conference order at that time.
But that's something that you did not do, correct?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. You said that there were a large number of people out there that particular evening, but that's because there's a police presence and you guys were doing an investigation and people were pretty much just looking around, right?
When I first got there was no police there. There was just a whole lot of people congregating in the area, not getting gas. My choice of punch was limited because of that. So it was just weird that night.
Okay. And no one was cited for loitering, correct?
Again, you have to contact communication to get that information.
You didn't cite anyone for loitering, correct?
No, sir.
Now, you indicated that the people in the white vehicle, the driver had an all black, correct?
Yes, sir.
You did not see any type of gang paraphernalia on the person in the all black, correct?
Correct.
The person that you described with the red hoodie, you didn't document in your report that the person who had a red hoodie on had a red hoodie on that was associated with any type of gang activity, correct?
Right.
It was just a red hoodie, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this older male that you said had blood on his T-shirt, there's nothing about your investigation that determined that this person had blood on their T-shirt had been injured with respect to any type of criminal activity, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. You don't know why the person had blood on their shirt, correct?
Correct.
Could have been from working, right?
Not that fresh of a blood.
Could have been from a fall,
Yeah,
correct?
could have been from a fall. Yes, sir.
And the person that you said had this firearm, this older gentleman, you stated that he was under the influence, right?
Yes, sir.
Had been drinking. He was pretty much probably a drunk with a gun, right?
Seemed like it. Yes, sir.
And the person who was in this vehicle who retrieved the weapon from the older gentleman was actually providing safety to that property by removing the gun from a drunk correct?
Well, he gave the gun to the drunk first.
Okay, he got it back.
So no, he wasn't providing safety.
Okay, he got it back though, right?
He didn't get it back.
Okay, and there was no issue with that gun. Nobody fired any weapon, right?
Thank God.
But it didn't happen though, right?
Correct.
Okay. No one used the weapon to do a robbery or anything of that nature, correct?
He used the weapon for ag assault, brandishing a firearm, try to shoot somebody. So that was a crime.
Did anybody get shot that night?
The way he was ranting, saying he wanted to kill somebody and a specific person, he had the firearm in his possession to go do it, but he didn't do it.
Did anyone come forward, Investigator McKesson, and say, hey, this old guy with a gun pointed at me and I was in fear of my safety? Did anyone come to you and say that?
No, sir.
Okay. Did anyone come to any other officer that you're aware of and say that?
Not that well.
Did you have an opportunity to order up the camera surveillance from this food mart that particular evening?
No, sir.
As part of an investigation to determine whether or not there had been an aggravated assault or anything of that nature, it would have been good common police work to retrieve the cameras from the food mart, right?
Well, my observation was first. So I was able to see the aggravated assault in my observation.
You saw an aggravated assault?
Yeah. When you have a gun in your hand and you say you can kill somebody, whoever that victim was is the person that he was committing the aggravated assault to.
Did you reference in your report anywhere within the four corners of the number of pages that you created that particular evening that there was an aggravated assault that had been committed against anyone?
I described what the aggravated assault was.
Did you describe in your report that an aggravated assault had been committed?
I gave a description of the action of the aggravated assault in my report, but I didn't say specifically it was aggravated assault.
That's because an aggravated assault actually requires a victim, correct?
It does.
And you didn't reference in your report that there was any victim of an aggravated assault, correct?
There was a description that I described as an aggravated assault.
This cop is desperately trying to say aggravated assault. There were none. As the defense lawyer says, you have to have a victim for that charge. So what the cop is trying to avoid saying is attempted aggravated assault.
Which caused me to act the way I acted, so I need to prevent the aggravated assault.
Okay,
so I think I prevented it.
Or just nuisance because swinging a gun around and they never found him. I mean, inappropriate and inappropriate language, but you kind of need more to get to aggravated assault, like a victim, and there were none.
Let me make sure I'm clear. So you're saying you referenced an attempt crime in your report as opposed to a completed crime? I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yes, sir.
So that the jury's clear and I'm clear, you never saw an aggravated assault occur on the date of this incident at the Chevron, correct?
There's different type of aggravated assault, sir.
I'm just going to ask you to answer the question and then you can explain. All right? So if you can give me a yes or no to the question, you're free to explain any way that you choose. I'm going to re-ask the question. On the night of this incident at this gas station, did you see a completed aggravated assault occur?
Objection, asked and answered, sustained.
That was wrong. That was not answered correctly, in my opinion.
Now, you didn't reference a male as being a victim of an ag assault, correct?
Objection, asked and answered, sustained.
I specifically asked you with respect to a gender.
Sustained.
Okay. All right. Now,
hopefully the jury picks it up.
Investigator McKesson, you indicated that you detained Quintavious Greer, correct?
Yes, sir.
You stated that this person had a stonewashed jacket and a red cap. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You did not reference that Mr. Greer was associated with any gang in your report, correct?
Correct.
And as a matter of fact, Investigator McKessie, you did not document in your report that you were going to make any type of referral to the gang unit within the APD, correct?
Correct.
In fact, there was nothing about this particular incident that caused you to reference in any way gang activity, correct? In your report.
You really want me to answer that question?
Well, I'm asking you, in the report that you prepared, I'm asking you, did you reference any gang activity in your report?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, you indicated that you detained Mr. Greer because you said it was for safety, but Mr. Greer, he never waved a gun at anyone, did he?
He had a gun in his hand.
Right, but he never waved it at anyone, right?
You don't have to wave a gun and have a gun in you to do that.
And no one walked away from him as though they were afraid because he had a gun in his hand, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. And you detained him because he had a gun in his hand, and as a result of that, he complied, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't run away from you.
No, sir.
He didn't give you a false name.
No, sir.
He didn't give you a false date of birth.
No, sir.
You said lay down on the ground, he laid down.
Yes, sir.
Now, you stated that you retrieved this handgun from his waistband?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the front seat passenger that was in the same vehicle as Mr. Greer didn't try to run, correct?
No, sir.
That person came actually to you and was basically trying to understand what was happening, right?
Yes, sir.
That person didn't give you a false name. Right?
I didn't ask for his name.
So you didn't ask. So this was a scenario where you didn't even ask for his identity, correct?
No, sir.
And that wasn't important for you to establish anything about that particular passenger, because had there been any issue in your mind as to that passenger, you certainly would have asked him for his name, correct?
Yes, sir.
Even though he was with Mr. Greer, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. In the entire direct examination, oh, this is serious. Oh, this is serious. And now we realize that, oh, he didn't even ask for the name of the passenger in the car where Mr. Greer was. So, not so serious. Not so serious.
Now, while you were there at this particular location, the food mart, you did not see any drug sales take place, did you?
I saw some drugs, but not no drug sales.
Okay. You didn't see any stolen vehicles happen on the premises that particular evening, correct?
I didn't run any tags, so no, sir.
And
this lawyer is good. Really good. And his co-lawyers are
just 1
his
second,
son.
Your Honor.
All right, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anybody else, Cross? Redirect, madam. Oh, sir, I should say redirect. Oh, hold on, Mr. Steele rose.
And here comes Mr. Steele.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Mr. Investigator, any of the persons that you saw on September 5 of 2020, any of them here in this courtroom that you recall?
No, sir.
Okay. And, you know,
And now he backpedaled totally. I don't trust this cop to guard a crossing. Whatever he says on the stand only tells me he's prepared to say anything to get a conviction out of it, but he's not smart enough.
represent Mr. Williams, fair to say?
Sir?
You know I represent Mr. Jeffrey Williams, right?
Okay.
And he wasn't at the scene, was he?
No, sir.
When you mentioned and you described the area, in Cleveland Avenue area, that area, how long have you been familiar with this area?
Since 2005.
Yeah. Remember, from what I said during direct examination, he's really, really familiar with the area.
And is that from doing business in the area, like stopping for gas, as well as patrolling the area?
Yes, all the above.
Okay. And is it correct to say that, tragically, the area is poverty-stricken?
Objection.
I'm not going to answer that.
I'll rule the objection.
I'm not going to answer that. That's disrespecting that community.
Seriously, that you are now disrespecting the court, Officer McPussy. You are disrespecting the court. The judge just said it was okay to ask you that question because you laid the foundation of knowing the area for 18 years. Patrolling, getting gas, everything. You're a disgrace, Officer McPussy.
Okay, well, how would you describe the income level in that community?
Real foundation, Mr. Steele, if you want to ask him that.
Do you have a belief on the level of income in that area?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to sustain the questions to form. It still kind of misses the mark, Mr. Steele.
Do you believe that that area has a lot of crime?
Yes, sir.
And does that area have any type of flourishing houses? You know, the housing market there? Is there a lot of homeless there?
I'm sorry, again, I'm not going to disrespect that community. I'll sustain this to form. You can break that down, Mr. Steele.
Let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the McDonald's at 150 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar that that McDonald's is today out of business?
Yes, sir.
And it's still the structure there, though. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
And if I showed you a photograph from when the McDonald's was there, do you think you could recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you what I'll mark as number 3.
I think this is your first.
Okay.
Yeah, this cop is not a good cop. When he says, I don't want to disrespect the area, he is. By not acknowledging that this is a poverty-stricken area. Just acknowledge it.
With on cross-examination, its rules are not bound by what the state asks him on direct.
No, I guess this, well, further down the scope, we'll still got to be relevant, though.
It'll be relevant.
I'll give you a little bit of latitude. We'll for now, sir.
May I approach?
Yes.
Don't approach you, if I may. Tell me, can you recognize what I've marked at East Range number 1?
Yes, that's Old Hayville and Cleveland Avenue. Intersection is the McDonald's that's at the intersection.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of when the McDonald's was in business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know that address to be 150 Cleveland Avenue?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that off the numbers. I just knew that's the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue.
How close is that area to the food mart?
Less than a block.
All right. Now, do you remember whether that McDonald's in 2014, January 2015, had video surveillance?
Yes.
Okay.
And object, Your Honor, this is not relevant whatsoever.
I'll rule that, Mr. Brown.
And did it have video surveillance?
I believe so. Yes, sir. What had video surveillance, sir?
The McDonald's, sir, 2014 going into January 2015.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is it routine, typical, trained that if you get information about, let's say, something involving the parking lot of the McDonald's in Mr. Williams number 1, and it had to be corroborated or looked into whether people were there on a certain day and time?
For you who missed yesterday, now he's referring to what an allegation of crime about a parking lot. And what he's fishing for is if they had, if you were here yesterday, it was about when did the video on Instagram, when was it taken, and all of that. And now he is taking in this copper's knowledge of the area to say that yesterday's about that specific alleged crime, if they wanted more facts about it, they could have just pulled the video surveillance. But they didn't.
Do law enforcement have the ability to go and either request or subpoena that video surveillance from the McDonald's?
Yes, sir, they do.
Okay. Were you involved in any way with confirming or not confirming statements made to law enforcement, specifically Detective Thorpe, on January 11th of 2015 about people at the McDonald's?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to ask for a continued objection to these line of inquiry.
I'll note it for you, sir. It'll be continued objection.
But if information came out to Detective Thorpe and others that on January 11th, 2015, that on January 10th, 2015, there were people in that McDonald's, video surveillance could have been gathered if law enforcement wanted to.
Objection. This is fact time, Mr.
I'm going to sustain it. We haven't really heard anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, jury, how easy is it to get video surveillance?
It's hard sometimes to get on the business.
How about subpoena power?
It's still kind of complicated because you have to give it to maybe to a corporate office.
Tell the truth.
It's kind of complicated in some way because you have to give the subpoena to the corporate.
They are laying foundation for almost every other underlying act here. Because now the cop is testifying to how extremely hard it is to get video surveillance. But they already had a person last week testifying to, we just get a subpoena. And now this cop here is trying to explain, it's really hard. But it's all about how lazy you are.
Office, and then they have to send you the videos depending on the business. This one could have been easier. It could have been hard. How about a search warrant? How about getting a search warrant? I mean, again, it's just time consuming. I mean, all we have to do is fill out the proper calls, and we'll get the information, get the subpoenas, the search warrants out.
And you as a law enforcement officer try to do that. That's commonplace, right?
This place?
Yeah, it's surveillance, if it's important.
If it's important toward my case, yes, sir.
It's just a checklist, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So subpoena is hard, but search warrant is easy. Remember this for the rest of this trial.
I don't think I have any other questions. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams, number 1, and I'd like to display it to the jurors. I'm sorry?
Name Jackson, DW1. Are DW1s admitted and may be published?
And yes, there are law tubers trading cards.
Sure. I mean, I'm not
and
going to do it
Gigi
for you,
just
but,
posted the link.
because I'm sitting up here, but you can certainly do it if you like, okay? Because you asked permission to publish, so.
He's getting the link, but I could do it.
Say again?
Shaq is getting the link. Mr. Kokomo is getting the link.
Miss Kokomo. The names in this trial are amazing. There's a Miss Kokomo.
But if not, Your Honor, I could just pass it around to the jurors.
I think he's in right now.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Branka! Hold on while I send you the link. Dun, dun, dun. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. There. Mr. Branca has the link, and we can ask him more about stuff that is going on here, since he is a US-based lawyer. Now he's an expert. I can definitely say one of the leading experts, if not the leading expert in self-defense law in the United States. But he does have might help us with some input regarding this. Let's continue while he finds his computer. Hello, Mr. Branca.
Hey, I got some weird stripes across my lens here. Hold on one second. I'm gonna strange color room.
That might be my hair falling down.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, the names in this trial are amazing. We have Mr. Sharp, but it always sounds like they say Mr. Short. You have the district attorney, Fanny. You have assistant district attorney, Love. And I hope to all that's holy, if they get married, I don't know their sexuality or whatever, but for the sake of argument, let's just say they get married. I hope the Fanny will take Miss Love's surname.
Everybody takes the Fanny, Nick. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we have an prosecutor Sprinkles as well in this trial. And we also now know that one of the attorney's assistant is Miss Kokomo. The names in this trial. Yeah, Officer
You couldn't
Sprinkles.
make it up, right?
Yeah, you really can't make this shit up. Welcome here to the young thug clusterfuck of
Well, I'm thinking
RICO-trial.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I have to confess, I never really know what's going on with this trial. So I guess my contribution will mostly be bad jokes and bad jokes.
Yeah. Well, I have something because this is a trial that will go on for at least 6 months. So they have 12 jurors and 6 alternates. Already there, that's a bit, because if you're doing a trial for 6 months, someone will get sick, someone will be in an accident, someone will skip the country. I don't know.
Yeah, I would throw myself off a building if I was a juror for 6 months.
Yeah, and they already lost one juror, so they are down to 5 alternates. And I'm going to play this cross-examination to its end. Then today, something really, really interesting happened with the jury that I want to go check with you if you have any information about it, because that has the possibility to ruin this trial, because it's not the first time, it's the second time and we are at day 7. But let's finish off this prosecute. How much of this have you heard before?
None.
None. Okay. So the cop on the stand has, during direct examination, bragged about how knowledgeable he is about this area and stuff like that. And how he was there as a off-duty cop, but he had all the guns and all the things in his car. He had his body cam on and everything. So off-duty cop. So he intercepted a couple of people, 4 or 5 people, one elderly man.
So was he like just off duty, or was this like Sunday and he would not? I mean, having the gun stuff I kind of get, because I mean I have a gun on me every day, but having your body camera on you is not something you would normally do if you were off duty.
I don't know if he was going home or to work or anything. That has not been cleared. Just that he was off duty in an unmarked car, in his own car. Well, he observed an elderly gentleman waving a gun around, saying something of the I'm going to end this MFR and stuff like that. Then he observed that another person eventually took that gun away from him and put in his waistband. And all in all, when they got in there to investigate, called in reinforcement and stuff like that, they discovered that it was this person and he was a felon, and so he wasn't supposed to have a gun.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah, shocker, isn't it? And eventually they charged this Mr. Hold on while I find this thing again. Quantavious Greer was the person, and he was arrested, charged, and convicted in May 2020, almost 2 years before this RICO charge even surfaced. He is not a part of this RICO trial at all, but they allege he is a part of the YSL gang. So it's an underlying act under the RICO charge.
Right. Okay.
The Georgia RICO is so broad and so vague, it's ridiculous. But then they asked him, did you charge anybody else with this? No. Okay. But what happened? The passenger in that car, what was their name? I didn't ask of it. Okay, so not that serious, apparently. And they never found the elderly man at all. And then the guy in the background there with the gray beard, asked this cop, "Can you identify Mr. Greer in the courtroom?" Which is a weird question. And this cop first said, "Well, he was here earlier, but he's not here now." Mr. Greer was not in the courtroom this day at all. But after a few questions later, the cop discovers, "Oh, I fucked up." So he starts to backpedal. And then this Mr. Steele, who is young Thug's lawyer, asks him, "Did you see Mr. Greer here today?" And then he answers, "No." So he went from absolutely he was here to no, which for me ruins him completely as a witness. And now he won't answer the question if this area in Atlanta is a poor-stricken area. Even though he has bragged the entire direct examination on how he knows this area well. He has been patrolling and stuff like that since 2005, so for 18 years. But he claims
in Atlanta, Georgia.
In Atlanta, yeah.
And someone has to ask the question whether it's crime-ridden. Has someone not been to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think the question is poor-stricken or poverty-stricken.
Oh yeah, right. They don't want to say crime-ridden because that's too,
yeah. But he won't. He will
inflammatory.
not. He says, "I won't answer that question. That would be disrespectful to the area." Which, and here's the thing: the prosecution objected, and it was overruled. That specific question, which means this cop kind of has to answer it, no matter what he thinks about the area.
That's correct.
Yeah. So instead of disrespecting the area, he's disrespecting the court. So his name, this copper, who his face we don't see because some of the witnesses here don't want their face shown. So Sergeant McKissy is now Sergeant McPussy, in my opinion. Because
that's ridiculous. The court agreed to that. The witnesses can hide their faces. Adult witnesses can hide their faces.
Yeah.
Okay,
some of them.
That's crazy, folks. Trials are public events in America.
Yeah.
And pretending that it's not a public event what do you think you're accomplishing by hiding? You're just making it a non-public event. You're destroying the whole purpose of having a public trial.
Yeah. And about 50% of the witnesses in this trial has been asked to not be filmed. And a bunch of the other witnesses who goes up there apparently has the vid because they show up in a face mask.
Okay.
It's so stupid. I mean, even if they are at least 6 feet from anybody else on the witness stand.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all bullshit. It's all the whole. I don't want to get your channel canceled.
Yeah.
So I won't talk about that. But I would just say that all this masking stuff, all this hiding the face stuff, in America, we have a constitutional right, one of our few enumerated rights here in America, to face your accuser, to see the witnesses before you, to have a jury have the opportunity to evaluate their credibility. You cannot evaluate the credibility of someone whose face you cannot see.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And the Monday, Tuesday, we discussed this on this channel to nauseum. But apparently, in this trial, it's okay. And it's pissing me off. And I'm not even American.
And as far as I'm concerned, if a court feels so strongly about masks or whatever, that they feel they can only conduct a trial in a way that's contrary to confronting the witnesses against you, guess what? You can't try that person. No. As far as I'm concerned. You simply, if you cannot give him a trial consistent with due process of law, he doesn't suffer because of that. The state suffers because of that. You cannot try him.
Yeah, but this judge, who is the chief judge in Fulton County, Georgia, he has his mind made up that this trial will go to the jury, no matter what.
God. People, please, whatever you do, if you live in America, do not get criminally charged in Fulton or Clayton County, Georgia.
Yeah, I mean,
It is those are absolute kangaroo courts. There's almost nothing your lawyer can do to help you.
Yeah, but I did
It's
see
Thunderdome.
Yeah, I did see in the chat Monday that this one is a good judge, but they don't recognize him in this trial because normally he is more bite than bark, but all of a sudden he's all bark and no bite. But let's finish off the cross-examination because this Mr. Steele is Mr. Williams, young thug, and we checked him up a bit. He's a $500 an hour defense lawyer. So, and he makes it known by the way he conducts himself. He's good.
That's not that much, actually.
Well, for that area, I believe it's quite much. And the man in the beard in the background, also very good with his questioning. And he is flanked by...
so this white dude with the gray hair looks kind of like me. He's one of the defense lawyers?
Yeah.
That's young thug in the background in the orange?
No, that is one of the 6 defendants in this RICO trial.
Oh my gosh. All right. And the black gentleman in the background with the gray beard, he's another defense lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, and there are 6 defendants, and I think today 9 of the 10 defense lawyers are here.
Oh my God, they're running this all together.
Yeah, and most of the 191 underlying acts under the RICO charge are stuff that has already been tried. People have been convicted, charges has been dropped, or charges has never even been brought. But they are using it as underlying act to prove that this is a criminal street gang. 191 underlying acts. So they are conducting 191 mini trials to get to this. And that is why this takes 6 months. And what pisses me off more than anything else is that every day this trial goes on, every day is a trial day. Somebody, a victim, or a defendant will not get their day in court for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's pissing me off because for 6 people under a RICO charge. And on top of that, same county, Fulton, Atlanta, Fulton County, they have the Trump RICO. And now the YFN, another rapper, with that RICO trial will start in January in the same county.
Right. Well, obviously, they've devolved to the point where they basically have a Dancing with the Stars prosecutorial office, right?
Yeah.
They just have a prosecutorial office. It's like, how can we get the biggest headlines and the most attention so I can run for governor in 3 years?
Yeah.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
And,
this is not due process of law. This is not a rational prosecutor bringing charges where he thinks it's most appropriate. These are political persecutions.
Yeah.
And maybe some of these people deserve to be convicted and go to prison. I don't know, but I can tell by the nature of how the charges are being brought that that's not a genuine consideration here. What matters is what's best for the prosecutor, not what's best for justice.
Yeah. And District Attorney Fannie Willis, who is the one behind the Trump RICO charge. Her term is over December 31st of next year. She's going for Attorney General next year. So she needs good prosecutions and good convictions before that.
Right.
So yeah, it is political. You're absolutely right. But let's continue listening to how this cop still tries to avoid answering the question if this is a poverty-stricken area. And the sound is awful.
Okay, and investigator, just orient the jurors if you don't mind. And Mr. Kokomo using the arrow, just show the jurors where the McDonald's is located.
What this defense lawyer, he is also doing groundwork for the rest of the trial with this idiot cop, because he's been asking him how easy is it to get a subpoena, how hard is it to get a search warrant, and this guy is explaining it.
Did he tell the truth? Did he said it takes nothing to get a subpoena?
Apparently it's really, really hard to get a subpoena, but very, very easy to get a search warrant. Which is going towards how all the other petty crimes they are trying in this case. Because already other cops have been saying, oh, we couldn't get a subpoena, or we lost the image, the video surveillance and stuff like. I mean, it's been so stupid.
Subpoenas and search warrants are available upon request by law enforcement, folks. That's the real world.
Yeah.
In theory, there's a magistrate who has to like carefully review the filing, and, but that's not what happens. The magistrate gets the request. He signs the request. That's it.
Rubber stamp. I mean, you can have a magistrate doing this all day with.
That's what he does all day. Right.
Yeah. But let's continue.
And by the way, the cops know the magistrates who will do that at 10 p.m. or midnight.
Yeah.
They know who to call.
Yeah.
McDonald's, not just a sign.
The McDonald's is located right here at the corner of
And Mr.
Avenue, O'Hagan.
Say, I apologize, I stepped on your words. Cleveland Avenue and what? And
a lot of these alleged crimes.
And Mr. Kokomo circling the
that
McDonald's. Is
McDonald's
that fair to say that that's
had
the
surveillance.
No, the actual structure.
So they could ask for it anytime they wanted, and they did.
Okay.
Except
and then
when they didn't want to.
Do you recognize to the left that other structure? Is that a laundromat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was that laundromat there also in year 2013, 14, 15? If you remember.
I don't know if the business was actually the same business, but I know it was there.
The structure was there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where, in relation to this McDonald's, would the location that you were talking about with the jurors be? Would it be to the left on Mr. Williams number one, or to the right?
You mean where I saw Mr. Greer?
Yes.
To the right.
Okay.
So we're facing McDonald's, it'd be to the right.
Okay. On our picture.
Going westbound.
Okay. And across the street from McDonald's, you can see, is that another gas station?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember which business that is? Which gas station?
It's a BP gas station.
And does that area also have video surveillance?
Not sure, sir.
Okay, that's okay. The laundromat, does that have video surveillance?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Thank you, Investigator.
Thank you.
Okay, any other examination by any counsel for the defense? All right, any redirect?
Yes, just
Can we? All right, you still need to use this?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it up. Okay.
Let's see how the prosecution
So let's
redirect.
So
They
is that
can't find
is that the main defendant there in the white, whatever beige?
Yep, that's Mr. Young Thug.
Okay.
Also known as Jeffrey Williams.
But he's not the only defendant.
He's the main defendant because the prosecution alleges that he is the leader of the YSL gang. So he is the main. He is also the richest and most famous because he is apparently a very famous rapper who has sold millions of albums and
I'll take your word
cooperated
for
with
it.
a bunch of people. And, yeah,
I mean, just look at me. I wouldn't know. But
yeah, before I started covering this RICO charge back in May, never heard of him. And yeah, I'm not his demographic. Let's just say that. But I did Friday. I did do. He's a mumble rapper, by the way. What I don't, not entirely sure, but my chat forced me via super chats and stuff to do a dramatic reading of 2 of his lyrics, and that was interesting. My chat forces me. They pay me to do stupid things. Let's just say that.
Mr. Greer, can you provide his date of birth?
I have to reference.
Sure, you may reference it and look back up if you finish.
Hey, Mr. Jingles is here.
Date of birth is January 9th, 1989.
And
well, look at those fancy court chairs. I never had court chairs that fancy.
Yeah. But they don't have the budget to pay the jury's lunch.
Was this?
They get
address?
paid
Do you know the address of
$25 a day
Not off, not
for this
off the
trial.
memory, no.
Is that McDonald's?
The
And
jurors.
The jurors.
Yeah, the
And
jurors.
they-
I mean, honestly, they shouldn't really be paid anything, but they should only be asked to give up 2 or 3 days of their time.
Yeah, but 6 months and not paid for lunch. They do get coffee and stuff in
Who
the morning.
said yes? I can't understand who said yes. No one said I can't do this for 6 months. I have a life.
During jury selections, people try to get off in creative ways, and 3 or 4 he gave the choice of you either spend 5 days at watching the trial, or you spend 20 days in jail.
The judge said that.
Yeah.
But it's not 5 days watching a trial.
Yeah. And but they did do misconduct. One filmed in the courtroom while they waited to be voir-dired, and one accidentally went on a trip. When yeah, and it's been a cluster. The pre-trial hearings I've been covering, I mean, it's borderline retarded. It's so, yeah.
So I talked about the chairs here. Someone in the comments says Frank is used to folding chairs on a card table. It's not normally that bad, but normally it's if you've ever been to like a business conference, like conference room chairs, normally it's like one step above that.
Yeah,
that's it. It's not a it's not the judge's chair for sure. I'll tell you that. And these webbed Aeron type chairs that like $500. No, maybe I'm just too old now. I don't know how things are done today, but in my day, we certainly didn't have. I had those in my office, but not in the courtroom.
Oh Jesus, those old wooden folding chairs, all wood. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, I've sat on too many of those in my years. But let's continue listening to the redirect here.
2020.
Yes, sir.
Was that McDonald's relevant to the incident for which you responded to on September 5th, 2020?
No, sir.
How far is that McDonald's from 151 Cleveland? How far is that McDonald's from 221 Cleveland Avenue?
Less than a block.
Okay. Were you focused on any surveillance footage from McDonald's that did not exist at that time on September 5th, 2022?
No, sir.
Okay. Was it relevant at all for what you were handling on that day?
No, sir.
Okay, so now, even though they never found the gun-wielding elderly man who threatened to kill people, they never used surveillance to try to find him. Because apparently, according to the prosecution, wasn't important. Yeah.
Was the detective Thorpe involved in any way on your on September 5th, 2020?
No, sir.
So most police investigations are inept in all these ways. So people know.
Yeah.
This is not TV, right? Normal cops, normal job. If they kind of half-ass it, they get 90% convictions anyway. So they're because the people are guilty. I mean, it's not complicated formula. So normally the cops can just kind of half-ass it, and they get a positive outcome. When they half-ass it and they end up in a trial like this, suddenly they're all confused. Like, what? My normal standard was not enough to ensure a conviction.
Yeah,
but it ought not be enough to ensure a conviction.
No.
And the only difference is this guy has lawyers who know what they're doing, and he may secure a conviction. But if the cops half-ass the investigation, guess who the burden falls on for that? It ought to fall on them and the state, not on the defendant.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree.
They get away with it 98% of the time, but that 2% where you actually go after a defendant who can hire a competent legal counsel, you ought to pay the price for being half-assed.
Yeah, completely agree.
You want to back up again?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Copeland, can you put DW1 up, please, again, sir? Thank you, sir.
Are you familiar with that Exxon gas station? Well, that BP gas station,
Yes, sir.
are you aware of what that is now?
Trying to picture. I've seen it recently, like within the last couple of days. I can't remember.
You can talk to the mic, please.
I've seen it within the last couple of days, but I think it's still.
What does it
still a
matter
gas
what it
station.
is
I don't know
now?
what kind of name is. They change up so much.
But
The structure's still there, and nothing changed.
is it fair to say that it is not what it was?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday. Thank you, Kim. Yesterday, the forensic tester person testified to, well, he received from the to the crime lab 2 bags of pills and 3 bags of a solid substance. And he tested by protocol the bag that weighed the most. Okay, nothing unusual. Then on cross-examination, defense, I think it was a bearded guy, who showed him the police report that the cop seized a bottle of pills. So, okay, so where was the bottle? Well, nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, it's in bags. And 2 bags of solid substance. Where did the 3rd bag come from? And the 3rd bag, and the bag they tested, coincidentally came back as positive for bath salt. So they didn't test anything else. They just wrote probably MDMA. The other 2 bags also bath salts. But here's the thing. If something is a bottle and 2 bags at the actual crime scene that the police brings in, but the crime lab has bags that are 1 too many, how is that even remotely allowed as evidence in court? Because evidentiary, I mean, clearly there's a breach somewhere. Clearly.
Yeah, we call it the chain of evidence here in the U.S.
Yeah.
From the moment it's collected on scene, there has to be a constant, continuous chain of custody all the way to the point where it's admitted at trial. Otherwise, how would you not know that someone's tampered with that evidence somewhere along the way, fabricated it, altered it? And yeah, it is proper ground for exclusion of evidence if the chain of custody has been breached.
Yeah. And if everybody involved knows that they only weigh the largest bag, and speculatively, for the sake of reason, a cop knows that and just want to be sure that the bag tested has bath salt, because bath salt really cheap, really easy to come by, speculatively.
Just go to what's the name of that store? Bed and Beyond.
Oh yeah, and instead of testing the pills, he googled the markings on one of the pills.
Sounds like
that was his
mom.
conclusion. Oh, thank you, Welsh lady. New here. We'll rewind, but been watching all your coverage of YSL trial and enjoying it. Thank you. Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Yeah, they never tested any one of the pills because it would cause a backlog.
Folks, you know, it's the burden of the state to prove the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh, we didn't test it because there was a backlog. That's negative evidence, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I don't understand why bad investigations get. I mean,
we have, for one thing, we have a lot of bad judges here in America these days, and any proper judge, if the prosecution said, "Well, we didn't test it because we'd have a backlog," the judge would say, "All right, well, that's not admissible because we don't know what it is." So,
and just the thing that the bottle is missing and there's an extra bag. Why is any of it admissible? I mean. But welcome to Georgia and Fulton County Court, I guess.
Yeah, the whole Atlanta area, folks. You definitely do not want to be criminally charged there. Just don't go. It is Thunderdome. It is Thunderdome. Do not go. Stay away. I've been to Atlanta. I liked it, but the criminal. You find yourself in a fight in Atlanta, you are screwed. There is no due process of law. Please do not go there unless you're willing to actually enter the legal Thunderdome, I guess.
Well, and some of these cops, and I checked the average salary, and it's before benefits, it's close to for an experienced investigator, it's I think it's $90,000 a year.
Yeah, which I know. I don't know if it. Well, I don't know if it sounds like a lot of money or not, but it's not that much money in Atlanta.
Yeah, but considering the level, I mean, it seems like in the Atlanta area, the hardest thing about being a cop is getting through the training. After that, it's Wild West.
I think well, it's kind of a complicated socio-economic question, but I think for a lot of cops, it's not that hard to get through the academy. I mean, if you're reasonably young, you get through. There's the academic standards are nonsense. The physical standards aren't much better. After all, they have to accommodate women applicants too, so it can't be that hard to get through physically. And once they get through, you can do a 20-year career in Atlanta as a cop and just pretend you didn't see the crime. I mean, just not respond, and you'll do just fine. So it's like a non-law enforcement agency.
All right, let's get through, because I think there's a recross as well.
No, so I can't remember. I know it was recent. I was surprised.
Okay. Just reading up. Prior to September 5th, 2020, did you know Pontius Grid?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of any? I'll strike that down quickly. I want to put back up State's Exhibit number 160N.
All right, sir, if you can take that down. everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
So how many defendants are there in this trial?
6. They started out with They started out with 28. But since they brought the RICO charge in May of 2022, people have pled out. Charges has been dropped. Some of the pleads has been so they will join here as witnesses. And so now they're down to 6.
So what they're claiming is the underlying crimes to the RICO allegation. Have all those crimes been proven, or they're trying them here?
No. They are retrying some of them here because people have been acquitted for some of the underlying acts. But they are retrying. I mean,
that's insane.
The Georgia RICO Act has never been challenged outside of Georgia. But I do think that if Mr. Young Thug doesn't, Trump will, if they are convicted. This time it will go to the Supreme Court, and I doubt the Supreme Court speculatively will approve of second bites at the apple just by calling it an underlying act.
So this notion that the Supreme Court, the federal level Supreme Court, is interested in examining state level cases, they have literally zero interest in doing that. So I would not expect the U.S. Supreme Court to take any interest in this case at all.
Yeah, but they can. They can.
It's up to them. They can. They might.
Yeah, but they can take specific parts and do them. If I remember correctly,
they can basically do whatever they want, but they tend not to. They have literally thousands of cases offered to them every year. They can only take a few score.
Yeah,
a couple hundred, And these kind of local state prosecutions, although people look at them and they say, "Oh my God, this is so egregious! It should go to the U.S. Supreme Court." The fact is, the U.S. Supreme Court doesn't take them. Like the recent Derek Chauvin appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. Supreme Court's like, not for us. That didn't surprise me at all. It's not for them. That's not what they do.
Yeah.
They could,
yeah.
but it's not what they take up.
But at least they will bring it to the Supreme Court. At least Trump will. If
you can bring
gets
anything
convicted.
to them.
Yeah.
Anybody can ask them to consider it.
Yeah. And during one of the last pre-trial motions, Mr. Steele, Mr. Williams' lawyer, told the court that, if you don't approve of this dismissal of evidence or whatever it was, this will be going up to appeal. And
the state level appellate court.
Yeah, state level appellate court. Right. And if they say, yeah, this is correct, then this trial stops immediately. And if during the pre-trial hearings I've covered, so far I've counted to, I think it's 6 appeals they have going up to state level. So state appeal. So if any of them are approved, trial stops.
Well, so America is weird this way because we have so many different states, right? But and different states do things differently. There's some states where in the middle of the trial, a lawyer could object to the judge, and the judge could overrule the objection, and that lawyer can immediately, in the middle of the trial, appeal to the appellate courts.
Yep.
And everything stops until the appellate court says, this is the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Other states, the lawyer can object and the judge can overrule the objection. And that lawyer could only appeal after the trial, after there's a verdict. And it may take years then to get an appeal. So the ability to have an immediate, what we call an interlocutory appeal in the middle of the trial, it doesn't exist everywhere. I don't know if it exists. Where's this trial being held? Georgia. I don't know how Georgia does it, but it makes a big difference because it is a stick you can hold above the judge. If you can tell the judge, listen, we're going to the appellate courts tomorrow, and they're going to get us a decision the next day. They're going to check you.
Yeah, but these appeals are pre-trial appeals of the judge's decision to allow certain evidence in and stuff like that. So I don't think they have done any one of those yet in trial. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. But let's see.
There were a large amount of people outside. Does this exhibit reflect what you saw on September 5th, 2020?
Yes, sir.
And based on the number of people outside, let's turn back to the older gentleman. You stated that the older gentleman had a firearm and he was waving in the air, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And based on what you observed at that time, did you have any other concerns at that time? Any other concerns in that area at that time?
You can tell it's crossed right away.
No, this is a redirect.
Yeah, I was just saying this.
Oh, he's really leading.
I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to use that firearm recklessly.
Okay. And roughly how many people were outside? Well, let's turn back. Defense asked you a lot. Earlier, Mr. Matthews asked you a few questions about the man in the area, the older man. When the older man indicated with the firearm that I am going to shoot these motherfuckers, what then went through your mind?
Say again? Sorry. Who was that? Ms. Westmoreland, you have an objection? Basis? I was just saying this for him. You can rephrase.
Is it fair to say that you said?
That's the same question.
No, that's terrible. That's terrible form. Is it fair to say that you said?
When you heard the older man,
what is that? What does that mean?
What were you thinking at that point?
Oh my gosh.
That he was going to shoot somebody.
And how much time passed between the time that that firearm was brandished and the time that Zone 3 officers responded to that area?
They responded within 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay. And I want to ask you just a few more questions.
And an old man managed to get away.
You
Old
said that you
drunk
saw,
man.
Drugs that evening, correct?
Yes, sir.
What type of drugs did you see?
It was marijuana.
Okay. Did you have to make reference to gang activity based on the facts that you knew at that time? Objection, so, sir.
I'll stand in this form.
Did you make reference to any gang activity?
No, sir.
Why not? Objection, so, sir.
Now, I'll allow that, Mr. Matthews.
Why not?
Reason being is because during that time, my investigation was dealing with an active shooter situation.
Is it your responsibility to take out gang warrants?
No, sir.
Okay. And earlier, Mr. Matthews made a commentary about graffiti and asked you some questions about graffiti and YSL possible posting. How are you aware that YSL is associated with that area that you were in on September 5th, 2010? Your Honor, asking answer.
Overruled.
An objection, Your Honor. Attorney Matthews is not making commentary.
Okay, I'll overrule that.
6 defense lawyers, all objecting.
We can go ahead and answer.
Just rephrase your question, okay?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
How are you aware that YSL is associated with that area?
Based on my investigations that I've had in the past, my experience in that area.
This is also something, because this cop has constantly referred to YSL as a gang. But the RICO Act is proving they are a criminal enterprise. So isn't he stating a fact? Isn't that for the fact finder? I mean, for me, it's weird.
Well, yeah, in this trial, obviously the fact finder has to determine whether or not the underlying requirements of the statute for RICO have been satisfied.
Yeah. But here you have the cop who establishes by testimony, yeah, they are a gang.
But here's the problem I see in this case, and I see it in there's another case I just covered. Well, I was a guest on earlier today, but it was a similar vibe. And that is the prosecutor takes the approach of, the prosecutor says, I'm not dealing with a jury that's really a blank slate of paper, tabula rasa. I have no preformed opinions. I'm open to persuasion. That's not the jury I have. The jury I have is looking for an excuse to convict this person. And all I need to do is provide them with enough building blocks, even if those building blocks of evidence are overwhelmingly contested by other evidence. Yeah. If I just give them enough building blocks that they can ignore the other facts, take the building blocks I give them, they'll arrive at a guilty verdict.
Yeah.
That's not how juries are supposed to function. No. But in today's world.
Yeah. A lot of people say you should go into a courtroom unbiased. And I say bullshit. You should go into a courtroom biased to the defendant.
Well, the defendant, literally in American law, is presumed to be innocent. That's the bias.
Yeah. So you should never go into a court saying it's 50-50. Let's see what the prosecution. No, it's 0 to 100%.
Right. It's 100% the defendant's innocent.
Yeah.
He's innocent. 100%.
He didn't reference any of this in his report. He didn't make the arrest for a whole little circle.
Based on my experience, again, I've interaction with different individuals in that area. They were documented as YSL members.
Based on my experience. What a bullshit answer.
Thank you. Investigator, yes, and to be clear, you didn't reference anything in your report arising from this
recross.
Relevant to YSL, correct?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Anybody else?
You see the report that the investigator has to further on?
You mean states 200R? Yeah, you can come and look at it. Sure.
Yeah. Nothing in the cop's report said anything about gang activity. Yet there he is. Sure, gang activity.
Can I see the report that you're looking at? Is that what you
Yeah,
That's what I brought, yes, sir.
that entire side of the courtroom is defendants and defendants' lawyers.
This is insane, folks. I can't possibly describe to you how unusual this is. And how inconsistent, by the way, with due process of law. Sorry. What the state should be doing is convicting all the individual people of the underlying offenses separately.
Yeah.
And then they can bring evidence of those convictions into this RICO charge against whoever the lead defendant is here, Young Thug or whatever his name is. You should not be trying dozens of people together in a single courtroom because a jury cannot distinguish between the defendants. They blend everyone together. They get a bad feeling about it, and they end up convicting people on bad feelings, and that's not the legal standard.
Yeah, and the other people are, in order to bring them in, they are called uncharged parties.
Right. Often we call them unindicted co-conspirators.
Yeah. And when I started,
but even then, normally, so when these cases were brought, so all these RICO laws, folks, for those who don't know, go back to the 1950s. These were laws that were created to go after the mafia because we had such a terrible problem getting control of the mafia because none of their own people would testify against themselves, against each other. And so we created these RICO laws. That was the goal. It wasn't to charge the routine criminal defendant with a RICO violation. These are mafia laws that were intended. But of course, you give prosecutors an inch and they'll take 100 miles. And so now if you give them any opportunity, they'll try to apply RICO laws to everybody. And I'm not saying, I don't know anything about Young Thug, right? Is that the defendant, Young Thug? I don't know if he's innocent or guilty. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't care. What I care about is the process. And the process here looks so completely corrupt that you can't have any confidence in the outcome because there's no way you can expect a jury to deliver a rational outcome if they're impaneled for 6 months and they're dealing with 6 or 8 different defendants and their lawyers all arguing.
Yeah, I agree. And hold on here while I look for this one. Hold on. Because if I was based in Georgia, just for the sake of argument, this channel is based in Georgia. And I have guests on of various backgrounds and everything.
Even me.
Even you. And if I read it correctly, it's so vague. They could more or less charge me under the RICO. So where is it? There. So we decided that we created Jingles Viking Thugs, the absolutely dangerous criminal and alleged enterprise. Because everything people do in the chat and you and me is to promote this channel. So we could be, if they deem, you didn't pay your taxes properly, then we are all at risk for a Georgia RICO charge. So our very dangerous gang is Mr. Jingles. And for you who don't know who Mr. Jingles is, it's this happy fellow. Look how happy he is. He absolutely loves when I do this. We are Jingles Viking Thugs. Available as merch in my store.
The whole cat?
No. Nobody. Well, sometimes I want to give this asshole away, but not at the present. Yeah, but we were listening to this guy.
I just want to ask you a question, and thank you. That's states 200R, as in Rex, right? Romeo, that's right. I apologize.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that included in what you brought up with you when you came to testify? It's by your left hand?
Yes.
Same report there?
Yes, sir.
About 8 lines down in that report.
Which report?
$200 as well as what you brought. It's page 2.
Okay.
Does it say, no, it's page 2 is the number. It's on the first page.
Okay.
Doesn't that inform us that the back passenger actually disarmed the drunk man with the gun?
This is not my report, but yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
The back passenger, who he never asked the name, disarmed the old elderly drunk guy. Then Mr. What's-his-face took the gun and put it in his pants or something. And then he was, of course, arrested by the witness because, well, felony. Yeah. So more or less, if anybody saved anyone from being hurt that day, it was the man who later was convicted of having a firearm as a felon. I mean, it's not this. Yeah. No, did any defendants that took a plead to RICO charges? I'm not entirely sure. I do know the person who was this absolute latest who took a plea deal took it without having to testify, but I think he pled guilty to the RICO charge, but he will not testify. Okay, let's see if.
All right. Any further examination, Mr. Brown?
No, Your Honor.
All right. At this point in time.
Okay, now here I want to take you to the part I wanted to ask you about. Because regarding jurors. Last week, Law and Seaward or Court TV or whoever court camera they use panned out a little far to the left and showed the front row of the jurors. And yeah, and people online on Reddit and stuff like that immediately identified one or misidentified. I don't know the names. And since then, another one has had a name attached to them. But the judge didn't know we will continue with the trial, even though 5 jurors' faces were shown. Then, this weekend, 1 juror got sick, hospitalized, so that one is out. So they are now down to 5 alternates after the first week of trial. And then this happened. Let's see here if I did this correctly. Yeah, hold on. I'll fast forward.
You ready?
Okay.
You ready? Okay. All right, counsels, pursuant to our other conversation, I'm going to call in Juror 409 this point in time, okay? All right, summon Juror 409, please, for me.
Juror 409. They had a jury pool of over 500 potential to get to these, and it took them 11 months.
Juror 409, could you have a come on to the first row? There's one. Please be seated. And let's see if that microphone will work. That's right in front of, right in the seat in the middle, right here. No, the one right there. I want you to just be able to sit down. Not that one. Are you sure? Okay, all right. Just give her a little handheld mic. Fine, Tim. All right. Is dead? Okay, madam, come on up to the witness stand then. This is so everybody can hear you. What?
We gotta turn the camera. There's that one up there.
Okay.
Well, someone's paying attention.
Yeah, because last week someone didn't. And yeah.
All right, Juror 409, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I need to ask you just a couple of questions. Within the last, I would say, 30 minutes, you shared a video on your phone with Sergeant Ingram, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and that particular video was of a person that joined us, his name William McCrae?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how did you come to look at this particular video?
When we were dismissed this last time, I saw myself on the camera above us here. And so I asked Sergeant Ingram, where else could we be seen on this camera, from this screen? And I asked if we could be seen in the viewing room. And then I remembered back in October of this year, seeing something scroll through on social media. This was before we were picked as jurors.
Okay.
And
Yeah. After they were picked as jurors and sworn in, they are also sworn to not go on social media.
For how long? For 12 months?
For the entire trial.
And that's supposed to be 12 months? How long is the trial supposed to be?
They have scheduled it to 6 months.
See, it's one of the problems with with our new modern society is that you could in the old days ask people to recuse themselves from things like newspapers and television when there were only 3 channels on TV.
Yeah.
People weren't missing much. But today people live their social lives on social media. And
yeah.
I think, frankly, it's probably unrealistic to expect people to not spend a week off of social media. That's a complete disconnection from themselves with humanity. And to expect them to do it for months, it's simply not going to happen. That will not happen. It would be like asking people not to have sex for months. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I remembered, and because I personally, I don't know him personally, but because I know of the history of this individual, Mr. McCrae,
and yes. This interaction tells me the judge never told the jury that the front row has already been filmed. And as Gigi says, judge didn't want to bring attention to it regarding the jurors being seen and doxxed. So
this is another interesting social policy question, right? Because I think on one level, I think all these trials should be televised. They're public, right? The public's allowed to go into the courtroom, and we live in a world with television, so why not put cameras in there? But we also live in a world of social media and social media punishment. And if the jurors believe that the moment their faces are exposed, they're going to lose their jobs, their kids are going to lose their friends, they'll never be invited to another cocktail party, their whole lives are going to be destroyed. That wasn't the case in 1970, or even 1990 when I was practicing law. When I began to practice law, we didn't worry about that. Nobody worried about that. But today, the mere appearance of your face on a camera can destroy you forever. You can have a very good job, and your employer says, you know what? We're getting 1,000 complaints a day over our customer support line about you. You're more trouble than you're worth. You're a great employee. We otherwise love you. But you've become more trouble than you're worth. And you're like, oh, it's not my fault. I got called to jury duty. And they're like, well, whatever. That's your fucking problem.
Oh. Let's see here. Yeah, in Georgia is an at-will state.
Yeah. So they can let you go for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason.
But also, this is a trial where cops and investigators are asking to be not shown because, this really, really dangerous gang. But the judge has no problem with jurors being doxxed. I mean,
listen, I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, if it were me, I would make everything transparent. But we live in such a hostile world that I certainly understand why people would not want to be shown. I get it.
Yeah. And for instance, me and Dave are covering the Jodi Arias trial. And in that trial, it was one juror who held out against the death penalty. The day after the sentence, her name was out there, leaked by the prosecutor, who later on got disbarred. And she had to get a new identity. That's how much was thrown at her in death threats and drive-bys and people screaming at her. for holding out against the death penalty.
Listen, man, I've been involved with a number of cases, very high-profile cases, where the defendant was acquitted, and eventually they just had to go get their name legally changed and adopt a new identity, because the cases were so highly politicized that they were never going to be able to live a normal life again. And I obviously, I mean, I'm not going to mention the cases for obvious reasons, but at least half a dozen cases I've worked on, the clients had to do that.
Yeah.
And they're just hoping they're going to kind of ghost into a new life. And then, I guess that's all I want to say about that. But because you can't escape, these things follow you forever.
Yeah. Just take a case that is going on now. The Koberger, the Idaho 4. He, no matter what, if he gets acquitted, he will never have a normal life.
Right. And where's his GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, where's his GoFundMe?
I mean, this is the guy who doesn't have, he's only got modest means already, right?
Yeah.
His life is not going to get better now.
Yeah. And his face is plastered all over the globe. He can't hide anywhere. I mean, he has to, in order to hide himself, that's plastic surgery, and I don't know.
Listen, if anything good is coming of these cases, and I'd like to think something good is, but who knows? I'm an old man, so I'm kind of skeptical about these things. But when you look at the Alec Murdaugh case and how SLED performed there, right? The state level, South Carolina, state level law enforcement. And you look at Kohlberger and how the state level law enforcement's performing there. And they're so self-interested and inept and biased in how they're conducting their investigation of these cases. I'd like to think that in the long term, they're exposing themselves enough that people will say, enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need actual due process of law. We got a bunch of a-holes running our prosecutorial and law enforcement divisions. And this is not justice. I wouldn't want any of my children subject to this form of due process of law. This is horrible.
Yeah.
Because we got a bunch of dummies in charge.
Yeah. To its core, the American justice system is one of the best there is. No question about it. But it is riddled with morons.
It's still dependent on people.
People. Yeah.
We're not a computer algorithm here. It's just, you know, it's a theoretical framework that's run by human beings, and human beings are.
Yeah, and I can say our system. Yeah, I can say our system is better because we have crap going on here as well. We have people who get life in prison, and then 12 years later, whoopsie, this cop lied on the stand, and he's acquitted. And finding DNA 20 years later, oopsie, acquitted. Now our monetary, how they can get a life afterwards is much less. I think the absolute highest reward, or not reward, but from the state for wrongful conviction is 1.7 million. And that is a guy who spent, I think, 23 years in jail.
Oh, yeah, we don't really do that in America either. I mean, there's a few cases where that's happened, but ignore that. It doesn't really happen here. Okay. So 99% of people who are wrongfully convicted in America just do their sentence. They get nothing, and they just do their prison sentence. No one gives a shit they were wrongfully convicted. So like 0.001% of people who are wrongfully convicted get some kind of recognition, and 0.001% of them get any kind of money. I mean, so it's not like in America, if we discover you were wrongfully convicted, you get $1 million and you go home. That happens in the most rarest of cases.
And only in those states where they actually allow it. Most states don't. It's congratulations, you're now a free man. That's your reward.
Yeah, that's the norm, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. But this is what the jury controversy was today. That somehow the jury ended up on the Zoom, because that screen she's talking about, that's the court's Zoom screen. So that has potentially been broadcasted to the world. More jurors. I mean, but the judge asked the rest of the jurors, have they heard anything about media? No, they haven't, and stuff like that. Then he sent everybody home for the day. But he needs to come to a decision if this trial is. But he has, for over a year now, with him on the rudder, he has been zealously for this trial will go to the jury. So the only thing I can think of will cause a mistrial is jurors start dropping off more, because if they have no alternates left, it's an automatic mistrial, or if they go below 12. But I do have heard about rare cases where the prosecution and the defense has agreed on a lower count of jurors. I don't know if I'm misremembering here.
I've actually never heard of that, but I guess it could be possible, but I've never heard of that.
Yeah. But that is where we are right now in this trial. We have no fucking idea more or less what's going on. There are underlying acts where people actually has been acquitted, but it's still an underlying act in the RICO charge. Charges dropped, everything, and it is a clusterfuck of epic proportions.
Nicholas, I'm gonna have to sign off, brother.
Yeah. No, I'm
thank you
signing
much
off as
for
well.
Having me on as a guest,
Yeah.
and love being here, and enjoy the rest of the show, folks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for being
Take care,
here,
man.
Yep.
Thanks for the link. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. I think we are done for the day. I have roughly 4 hours of sleep in front of me, so I will be letting you all go. I will sending you off to Broken Baker. I hope he's still around. But thank you for allowing me to try to guide you through this trial. And thank you for all the super chats and stuff like that. You are the people who keep me going. Thank you to you over at Rumble for all the thumbs up and everything. I'll see you all back here tomorrow around 6 p.m. where we go through Thursday's trial day, if there is one. Thank you so much again. Have a nice day. See you all later. Bye-bye.